One. All right, guys, welcome back to Afrik Football. Yes, Mr. Wamba is with me in the building today. We are going live as usual. So, as you guys know, this is France versus Australia live watch along. Mr. Wamba is going to walk us
Yes.
through the squads that are on the screen right now. Mr. Wamba, we can start the French team to educate us on some of the players who are supposed to be looking out for. And at the end, I'd need your prediction.
All right. Looking at the French team, I look at the likes of Hugo releasing goal, who plays for
Mhm.
Tottenham. I look at Theo Hernandez from AC Milan, Benjamin Pavard from Bayern Munich, Upamecano, Bayern, Kunate,
Mhm.
Liverpool, Rabiot, Juventus, Tukumene, Real
Mhm.
Madrid, Griezmann playing for Atletico, Mbappe there with PSG, Giroud, you know, with AC Milan. Like it's a star-studded team. I know today has
Mhm.
been a day full of upsets. Pretty much most of our
We
predictions.
have to talk about the goat being skinned alive by the Saudis, the Saudi people, and their love for the goat. But do go on, Mr.
Hey,
Wamba.
yeah, so like I was saying, today has been a day for the underdogs. I feel there's like literally if you played sports betting today, you've lost all your money. There are not ways about it because we didn't have both teams to score happening anywhere. We didn't everything wasn't going according to plan. Argentina didn't win their game. So yeah, but I honestly feel the World Cup case will not catch up with
Mhm.
France because I
Mhm.
feel the team is actually pretty good and they've changed a lot of players from last time because the biggest challenge most teams face is they'll probably get the same players they used 4 years ago for the World Cup and bring them to the
Mhm.
next World Cup and expect those players like to win the World Cup again. And I feel that's not the way to go about it. I know maybe most of the changes are inspired by Pogba, Kante being injured,
Mhm.
but I feel it's a right. It's like the step in the right direction. It's like the gods of football telling them to say, hey, we have to injure these guys so as you guys actually make it past the group stage.
Right, so I see that's the starting point. So the French team, as you've stated, is a very star-studded team. I can see there's Hernandez, there's Mbappe there, definitely, who is the star man of this team. Seeing that Karim Benzema is out because of injury, I can see that Giroud has been opted to be the top man. Seeing that Giroud has played 17 World Cup games, no, 15 World Cup games, and only has one goal. So do you think if Benzema was in here, Giroud would have still started? What do you think of that turnover where a player has played 15 games for a country in the World Cup, but only has one goal, and you are the main striker of a team? What would you have to say about Giroud? Do you think what is the reason you think the coach actually plays Giroud for 15 whole games at the World Cup? All right, it seems we have lost Mr. Mwamba's connection. You definitely get back to us as soon as he gets in. So ultimately, what we're looking at is the two teams are in, and we have France versus Australia in this game. France is ranked number 4 in the world, with Australia ranking at number 38 on the world top ranking. Personally, I do not rate the FIFA World Rankings because I think there are certain countries that are better than Australia on the African continent, but they rank very highly on the FIFA ratings. Because there's nothing you can tell me about Australia. I do not think they are very competitive as a team, and I think the FIFA rankings should actually look into a way of making it better. What they need to do is find a ranking that isn't as biased as this FIFA rankings. But moving on, talking about the Australian team, because we've already talked about the France team, we'll be talking about the Australian team, and the main man on the Australian team is named Aaron Moy. He is in playing in the midfield. The number 13, as you can see right now on the screen, is Australia's main man. So, Mr. Mamba, do say anything about the Australian team. Welcome back.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. My network is actually not keeping me well here. But anyway, yeah. As you were saying, the star player for the Australia team is definitely Aaron Moy, and I remember seeing him play for Norwich at some point in the Prem, and he's one of those midfielders who's going to create chances. He's going to run with the ball. He loves holding onto the ball. He loves keeping the ball, and he loves going on the attack. Another player to look out for is Matthew Ryan, their goalkeeper.
Mhm.
Ryan was actually Brighton's goalkeeper before they brought in Sanchez, so he's
Mhm.
pretty decent, and he might be the difference in this game. If France probably try to take a few shots and Ryan is on form, they might get a 0-0 draw because we've already seen so many draws today. This might be
Mhm.
one of those games that just end like that.
Yeah, so you were saying there might be an upset of a draw in this World Cup. Today's matches have been particularly very weird. So we're gonna, from right now, we're gonna look more onto the benches, the two coaches' benches. Like Didier Deschamps is the French coach, of course, and Graham Arnold is the coach for Australia. So what we're gonna be looking at technically is look at that French substitutes bench. Everyone on the French substitute bench is class and quality. Who do you think would come off the bench and make a significant difference to this France team? And who would you think would also come off the bench and make a significant difference to the Australian team? You can start, then I will tell you who I think would come on and make a difference.
All right, so when I look at the French team, I see three players that can actually come in and make a difference in Kingsley Coman.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very sure he can do something off the wing. Marcus Thuram, yeah, he's actually the son of the Thuram in 1998, the guy that actually brought the
Oh.
World Cup. He's also pretty
Mm-hmm.
good. He plays for Borussia Mönchengladbach. And
Mm-hmm.
Eduardo Camavinga. I feel if Camavinga comes in for Tukumene, he might change the dynamic because he's a bit stronger than Tukumene, and I feel he's slower than Tukumene, but he carries this Paul Pogba kind of play where you can actually pick a pass from 40, 50 yards out. When I look at the Australia team, some of the players I actually see that can make a difference is Garanko from Newcastle. He should probably be in the academy there or something. Yeah, but he's a young lad. He should be 18 or 19, the last I checked, and he's pretty decent. He's actually a very good player. He might change the
Mm-hmm.
game, and probably Jason Cummins, because I saw an article somewhere about the guy. You know, yeah, but all
Mm-hmm.
I can say is he's probably another player that could come in and make a change.
All right.
What's
So
your
for me
pick on this?
personally, yeah, for me personally, I think the midfield is gonna be the key in the French team. And you are right, Kamavinga coming in, the Real Madrid player coming in, and joining the midfield for France is something that's gonna be important. You know that if they do not have Kante and Pogba, it means that the France midfield has lost some of its key cardinal players. So I'm assuming for me, my star player would be Kamavinga. If he came in, he would change the whole dynamics of his team, and he would make this team come to life and gel in a different formation and format. But as well, Kingsley Coman on the wing would not be a very bad substitution. But when we do move on to Australia, I have a very fun fact. The number 26 on the screen right now, who's Keanu Bacchus, was actually born in South Africa. The SAFA had reached out to him
Oh,
for him to actually join South Africa to play for South Africa, but he decided after he got a call up from the Australian team, decided he's gonna ditch the Bafana Bafana and he's actually going to stay in Australia. Hence, this is Keanu Bacchus, and you can even tell from the name. Bacchus is a South African name, predominantly South African, and this is the youngster I wanted to talk about. This boy is quality and talent. I've seen him play, and the reason why South Africa was fighting for him is that he brings a different dimension to the team when he plays into there. He's got a very good link and play. And for me, I know he's still too young. I know he's basically in his early 20s, so they might not play him in here. So what Mamba did say might be correct. Justin Cummings might be the person that might be the key in the changing dynamics because seeing that they do not have Tim Cahill in Australia anymore, there has to be somebody who has to step up the mantle. So I think the original starting lineup for Australia right now is quite good, and I believe if somebody like Cummings came in, it would make a significant difference to for this Australian team. So I'm gonna look at the team form in their last 5 games. Mr. Wamba, you can go ahead and you can talk about France. Seeing that France right now the last 5 games,
yeah,
they haven't been
yeah,
performing too well.
yeah. Looking at the French team in the last 5 games, it's there's so many dynamics that come into them not performing well. There's the Nation League aspect here, and looking at most players, I in the French team or pretty much anywhere in Europe, I don't think they're huge fans of the Nation League. They don't play for the badge when they're playing in the Nations League. It's a kind of thing where okay, we just have to play this because UEFA organized some tournament, but while we're playing in this tournament, most half of the players don't even know why they'll be playing in that tournament. So I feel that's one of the main reasons why France's form has been poor leading up to the World Cup. When I look at the Australian team, it's there have some good wins there. You see Australia beating Peru, of which Peru is South American, and though that the
Yes, yes.
previous World Cup, you see Australia beating New Zealand like twice, and these two are like neighbors. I've got that derby going on. They're always, fighting on and off the pitch. So I'm actually impressed with Australia's run coming into this World Cup. Will they manage to keep up the good form and everything? I hope so, or well, at least I'm hoping for a draw or something just to keep the World Cup entertaining. But I still don't see them winning this game, unfortunately.
All right, now I do understand. I'm looking at the French team and I'm seeing the opponents that they played against. I do understand there's 2 draws, 2 losses, and 1 win against Austria. So I can see that they have the draws and the losses against Croatia. Croatia is a good team. Denmark is also in the World Cup. So that should have been something that they should have been using these opponents that they have, like Australia, sorry, as in um, Croatia and Denmark are very good opponents that I think France should have paid attention to, either being in the Nations League or not being in the Nations League. And them not being able to defeat these teams shows me something that ever since Kante and Pogba got injured, they have not been gelling as a team as they needed to basically play. As in looking at Australia, basically in their friendlies, it's in the region. They've been playing teams that are in their region. So New Zealand is in their region. You can see like Jordan and the UAE. These are teams that they do play against regularly. So it doesn't show much of a dynamic because they are probably the strongest team in their region. But the Peru game is a very good example of what we should be expecting because 5-4 shows how poor their defense is, but again, it shows how good the striking department is. So for me, these 2 team forms, the past 5 games, shows a very big. It basically just shows us the dynamics of what could happen. France might be, if
Exactly.
they're not serious, they might actually face the World Cup curse. It might actually catch up with them because from what I am seeing here, these are not
Ooh.
very good results. They need to do better. Hence, we're going to look at the head-to-head for these 2 teams. Speak to us, Mr. Wamba. All right, it seems Mr. Wamba has dropped out of the call. So we'll just generally be looking at the 2 head-to-heads. From the head-to-heads, you can see that these 2 teams have played each other only twice. One is a friendly, and one is a Group G World Cup game from 2018 when they met in 2018, back in 2018, the Russia World Cup. And from that World Cup, you saw that France actually beat Australia 2-1. So this game might actually be tightly contested and not what you may think that France is gonna run basically just run this whole game entirety on their own. So you can see, I know the friendly that was played in 2013. Friendlies, you can swap the whole team at the halftime talk. You can change the whole squad. The coach doesn't pay much attention. It's a chance for you to give people a run in to see which players are there. So that 6-0 isn't a real reflection of how Australia is going to play in the World Cup. World Cups are different games, and when you're in the World Cup, your team does actually perform much better. So that 2-1 that you see there is a better representation of how this game might actually go because France has actually played with them, and that time they actually played very well. If you do remember that game, they had a very good and decent game. So ultimately, for me, I don't think this game is gonna be a runaway game. And as we've seen today's games, we've noted that most of the bigger teams today did not have a very good showing. We've had 2 draws, the Tunisia game and the Mexico game, and we had a draw. We had a game where Saudi Arabia actually beat the mighty Argentina and ended their 35 unbeaten run by winning 2-1. And that was Hevrena. If you did watch our preview video of that group, we did tell you Saudi Arabia might be the dark horse, might be the team that you guys might be underrating, but you should not be underrating. So for me, Saudi Arabia is the team, and my prediction, I'm glad Mr. Mwamba called me during lunch to tell me my prediction of Saudi Arabia was right because he was a negative and biased person against it. But now we're gonna, before the game does start, we're gonna talk about Mr. Mwamba. I was looking at the head-to-head, so you can give us your explanation on the head-to-head. What do you think about this head-to-head?
Well, looking at this head to head, France has won 2, 0 draws, 0 wins for Australia. I think it's logical. I feel over the years, France has been the better team. Like, I'm actually shocked they've met. Oh, I remember they met in the 2018 World Cup in Russia. Yeah, I remember
Mhm.
there France beat them. And the other one is what, a friendly? Okay, yeah. So in all honesty, I feel it's a kind of situation where France have been dominant over Australia, and hopefully previous World Cup ended too, and maybe if Australia learned a lesson or two. I remember watching that game and writing off France to say if this is how France will play for the rest of the tournament, then they'll be out of the tournament. And
All right, I guess Mr. Mwamba has dropped again from the call. We'll be able to have him when he gets back. Yeah, but as you were stating, I'm assuming his criticism of France was the same I had in the last World Cup. But they did go on and actually won that World Cup. So sometimes our criticisms are just from what we see on the surface level. But some teams do turn up when it's time to turn up. But for that particular game, they did not turn up, and that is why Mr. Mwamba is actually talking about France and where France has been in this particular game. So we're gonna look to more of the teams. I'm gonna go back to just look at the teams as they stand, and I'm gonna be giving my predictions. For all those who are joining us, this is Afrik Football. We do live streams and watch alongs. Remember to like and subscribe. Remember to drop us a comment. Tell us where are you watching this game from. This is what keeps us interacting with you guys. This is the content that we'll be doing throughout the World Cup tournament because we've noted that live streams and watch alongs are much in are fun. They're entertaining. They're good to be on, and they allow you, the fans, to be with us. And we're going to be doing a live stream every day when there is a FIFA World Cup match. So we're going to be here live, and we're going to be doing probably the evening match is the best match because during the day we're working. So if you're enjoying the efforts that we're making during this World Cup period, remember to give us a like and subscribe. We'd love doing this stuff, and we love you guys writing us comments. And we've not seen you drop any comment. Please remember to like and subscribe. And let's be looking at the France team as it currently stands. So France is going to be playing a 4-2-3-1 with Juru up at the top, with their backline having the likes of Konate, Opamecano, Hernandez, and you know that they do have on their bench the Manchester United player Rafael Varane, who has been very good for Manchester United. Ever since Rafael Varane has been playing for United, he's actually been a very good player. So seeing that he hasn't started in this game, it just shows you the level of competency at the back for this French team. And everyone who's in the French backline is actually very competent, and I've seen them play with Pava. And talking about Pava reminds me of the time he played against Argentina last World Cup in 2014. France beat Argentina, and there was a beautiful goal by Pava, which was Benjamin Pava, had a beautiful goal, which was voted in the top 3 best goals of that tournament. And I'm assuming this young lad, ever since moving from there, he did move from his team and he actually went to Bayern Munich and has since been a staple in the Bayern Munich team. So Pava is one of the defenders you have to be looking out for. Because if you notice from their backline, Upamecano is also one of those very good defenders. Rafael Varane isn't even starting this team. That should tell you the quality and the class of these players. Kylian Mbappe, of course, guys, we do know he's the speedster of this team. He's the main man of this team. Griezmann has had a very weird showing. Griezmann has been having a very weird showing of late, and we all know the situation at Atletico Madrid. Yes, I do have an Atletico Madrid jersey, and this is where Griezmann used to have a situation where the team Barcelona, due to the contract talks, he was unable to play and he'd only come into the games in almost like at the 60th minutes mark. But so Griezmann also has had some fine form. Ousmane Dembele is the other man I'd like to talk about on the French team. Ousmane Dembele has been on form, has been on fire, and he's been playing for Barcelona. All I'm hoping is if he does not get injured in this tournament, he might be a real attacking threat. Imagine Ousmane Dembele with flanked on the other wing by Kingsley Coman. Juru moved from the top, and you have Kylian Mbappe playing as the top man, and that would be a very dynamic duo. But understand the coach Didier Deschamps has a different statistic, has a different analogy on how he's gonna set up his team. So for that reason, particularly, I guess this is what the team's gonna look like. I would have rather had Mbappe up top, Kingsley Coman on the other side, and it would have been a different team. But I'm assuming they're counteracting to the fact that you don't have Kante and Pogba in the midfield, which is something that we've all noted would have been a very good addition to this team. But due to injuries, Kante and Pogba can't be in this game. So from the Australian team, of course, we've talked about Moy and how we think Aaron Moy is probably one of the key men because of how he's going to boost the midfield. But with Captain Ryan in goals, Mr. Mwamba, the game is about to start now. I can see everyone is going onto the pitch. So give us your closing remarks. What is your prediction? Would like to know your predictions. Let us know right now.
Prediction is probably 4-0 France. France are winning this game by 4 goals. I don't see Australia doing anything. Yeah. Because I look at the French players. The goal. I see Mbappe getting 2, probably 0 1, so 4 goals.
Okay, I'm gonna be the controversial one. I'm gonna say this game is going to be a 1-1 draw. Yes, I know
Oh,
you're gonna shoot the messenger, but this game is gonna be a 1-1 draw. So, guys, the predictions are I'll be writing them right now on screen. Mr. Wamba's prediction says 4-0. Mhm. France to win 4, Mr. Wamba. But why? Please give us a rationale behind this 4-0.
pardon?
Give us a rationale behind this 4-0. Why do you think it's gonna be 4-0? I'd like to know why you think it's gonna be 4-0.
When I look at the French attack, it's got some of the best attackers on earth, and it's all like the midfield is bad. I look at Rabia and Tukumene, they're the kinds of players that can actually take the ball forward and actually supply to the strikers. And looking at Theo Hernandez and Pava in as wing backs, they can throw in the crosses, they can actually score too. So I see no reason for France not to get at least a bare minimum of 4 goals in this game.
Oh no, we'll be waiting to see those 4 goals. You're speaking as if you're going to be on the pitch scoring them with them, but that is what we like to see from the Afro Football Pundit. So, guys, all those who are joining us, what is your prediction for this game? Let us know in the comments below because the only way we're gonna get interactive is if you guys keep giving us your predictions. We'll be doing these live streams on Watchalong, so we'd like to know what your predictions for this game are. Our predictions are currently going to be on screen, and Mr. Wamba says France 4, Australia 0. I say France 1, Australia 1 for the draw to just keep up with the trends today. Today is a day of upsets. Mr. Wamba, let's have a small recap of that Argentina game. What went on? What went wrong? Please enlighten me.
Oh, the recap of the day is my highlight of the day definitely will be the Argentina Saudi Arabia game. Argentina played so well in the first half. I didn't see them losing that game. I actually placed a bet on them to win the game. Then a few moments later, second half, all I see is Saudi Arabia were not even like the best team on earth, but then they got two
Mm,
quick goals and Argentina just never looked the same from there.
mm. So, do you think the goal
Lisandro
should have had more
Martinez came
impact?
in.
Right, it seems Mr. Mumba is really having some network problems today. But yeah, so we're talking about the Argentina game, guys. Well, Messi had a disaster class with his team, and they've lost their first game. But going back to the 2010 World Cup, Spain did lose their first game in their group, and still went on to win the whole trophy. So it's not dead and gone for Argentina. I believe they can recoup and revive, and that group is still open. Seeing that there was a draw between Mexico and Poland of 0-0, yeah, there was a draw between the two teams. So it means the only team with a win in that group is, well, of course, Saudi Arabia. The rest of the other two teams still have 1-1 point. So I think it's not lost for Messi and his team. And I think Messi can inspire his team to actually get those goals and actually qualify out of that group, even being the top most of that group. Because we did our predictions here when we were with Mr. Mwamba. We did have our predictions of that group. And from that prediction, you know that I said Saudi Arabia is probably going to finish second in that group. So I still believe Saudi Arabia might finish second. Oh, they might actually finish top of that group. But now we're going to move our focus to the France versus Australia game because that is the game that is currently being played and that is the game that we are previewing. That is the game that we're going to be doing a live stream and watch along. You guys are out here supporting us as Afro Football. We really appreciate it. We're still trying to get 11,000. So if you really like our content, remember to like and subscribe. And right now, you can see there are lots of people in the stream. So do tell us, what are your predictions for this game? I would like to know what your predictions for this game are. And let's get interactive. We have so many talking points. We have a poll going on. We have our predictions going on. Me and Mr. Mwamba have predicted right now. And you can see Mr. Mwamba is even back in the stream for data prediction. So the game is about to start. So our biggest question is going to be, what are your predictions as a fan? What are you predicting? And do you think this is a big game as a fan? Mr. Wamba, do take it away. Give us any insight.
Some of the insights from this game that I've seen is I feel there's that touch with the French team where they know of the World Cup case and they do not want to be victims of it. So I feel even looking at the French team as everything was going on, as I showed the players are actually here to win this game. They don't want to be caught by the World Cup case, and they know one of the easiest teams they can beat in their group is Australia. So they'll probably go straight out and beat Australia in this match.
Oh no, I hope they do actually beat Australia in this match, because if they fail to beat Australia, it means all the people who've had betting tickets, all the tickets have died. But today has been a bit of interesting bit of football. I really enjoyed all the football that was there today. Even the Tunisia game, I thought I wouldn't enjoy the Denmark Tunisia game, but I really enjoyed that one. But ultimately, the game that really inspired me and I appreciated it, the way Hevre now, who's a Frenchman, of course, and he said his comeback when he was in Zambia, said he really wants to be the coach of France one day. And today, I think he has boasted his CV and stated that I am a person who should be looking at French national team. If France does not perform well, maybe do you think them going to have Renat would be a good thing? Because you saw how he performed today. He actually outclassed in the second half, of course, outclassed the Messi team, and he had a very good defensive block. You could even see that he got the lads to play. Seeing that he's won the Africa Cup with a team like Zambia that is basically not even known on the football stage. What do you think about Hervé Renard maybe in the next few years becoming the coach of France?
Well, for Henry now picking up the French job, I feel he does well with teams of low pedigree. When I look at the Zambia team, it wasn't a team that people feared a lot, and he just gives these players hope, motivation, and the players actually go on the pitch to actually play for Renat. But when I look at the French team, I don't see him being the best man. Oh, Victor Gomez is a referee. Victor Gomez from South
Oh,
Africa.
South African
Big
Victor
shout out.
Gomez, yes.
Exactly. A big shout out to him. Yeah, but looking where was I? Oh, right now, looking at the French team, I don't think he's the right manager because this French team possesses players with different egos, the likes of Kylian Mbappe, Dembele, Giroud, Griezmann. They're all big players in their respect, and they probably need a manager that would actually, like put them where they're supposed to be. Because Mbappe will probably feel I'm the best player on earth, so this guy here can tell me what to do in a white shirt or something, but it's not supposed to be like that. So for me, looking at Rena, I don't see Rena being the French manager anytime soon.
I actually think Renat could pull off his job. Renat, I know most of you guys will say he's too small for the job, but Renat has a very good pedigree. He came to Africa, and let's not forget, the French team is probably as good as the Ivory Coast team he was coach of when he was back in Africa. Let's not forget that he had the likes of Yaya Toure. Yaya Toure is probably a bigger star than half of the people in this French team, and he managed to have Yaya Toure respect him. He had lots of other guys in that French team, the Colo Toures, the Yaya Toures, um, all those different stars that he had, the Solomon Kalous, all those people. Renard actually managed to coach those guys when they were playing at their prime. And you know how African egos are. Once an African player plays in Europe, he thinks he's the boss of the team. But Renard managed to actually navigate those waters and keep those boys in line. So I'm assuming this French team might not be big for him. Once he gets that boot and he sits there, he wears his white shirt, he would mash anyone. He would even make me a great footballer, and I'm out of shape right now. If I was playing for that Saudi Arabia team, guys, trust me, I would have put everything on the line. I was watching the speech he was giving. I couldn't understand his English, but I was just like, this is the man I want to play for. I will play for this guy. I will go tackle Messi and I'll drop Lionel Messi the great. But there's a comment, Mr. Wamba, I can read it here.
Yeah, I saw Sifisong Toure says 3-0 win to France. So yeah, Sifiso is going for France to win 3-0. And I feel his prediction is similar to mine because I'm going with a 4-0 win for France, and hopefully it works out because hey, if I was betting right now, I'd probably bet 3 plus France.
Yeah, you guys are all guys, and the game has finally kicked off, and we are live from Afrik Football, Zambia, Lusaka. And Mr. Kue, thank you for your comment. And we're gonna say it. I can say Mr. Kue says 3-0 in favor of France. Personally, I'm still going for a 1-1 draw. Mr. Mamba says 4-0 in favor of France. I'm assuming you guys have really underrated the Socceroos. The Socceroos aren't a very bad team. I just feel like you people are giving them a bad rep. I would like to hear from everyone else who's in the chat and in the comments. What do you think? What's the prediction? And where are you watching us from, Mr. Nkwe? I'm assuming you're from South Africa. So are you proud of Victor Gomez being in this game and being the referee in front? Okay, there's Dembele with an attack already. Okay, France is already making an attack and making its way. Okay. Oh, France has come out guns blazing in this game. Okay, this is very interesting. France is already on like two attacks of basically trying to get some shots on target. This is probably gonna be a very interesting match. But I'd like to know what you guys' predictions are. Remember to like and subscribe because that's how we're gonna keep interacting. So, like Mr. Kure has stated, he thinks it's gonna be 3-0 in favor of France. So, all of you who are joining into the stream, what are your predictions for this game? I'd like to know your predictions. I can see Victor Gomez, South African referee, at the prime and at the top, at the helm of this game. So I'd like to hear your comments. Do tell me what is your prediction for this game? France with almost getting a goal. France almost got a goal. Okay, that was Dembele with the follow through, which has gone nowhere. I feel like France doesn't want to be caught up with that World Cup curse. So I'm assuming they do not want to be caught up with that World Cup curse. So guys, what are your predictions for this game? Do let me know in the comments below. And the game has begun. There we go. We're gonna have a play-by-play on the screen currently. I would like to know where you guys are watching us from, what your predictions of this game are, and we're gonna be having lots of different talking points. We're gonna move from talking to how Kylian Mbappe and what how most of the people are saying Kylian Mbappe has grown big-headed at PSG because he is the president of PSG according to some sources. So I'd like to hear what you guys have to say about Kylian Mbappe and what you'd like where you'd like to see Mbappe in this team. Maybe someone by his back.
Yeah, sorry again. I have to apologize for the poor
No,
network
that's
around
fine.
this
That's fine.
place.
I was basically talking about how this game is going. Aaron Moy has had almost a shot on target. Oh, whoa, he did have a shot on target. I looked at France and France has come out all guns blazing. So how what do you think about that?
I'm looking at the French team, and they came out all guns blazing. But I so far, like 3 minutes in, I didn't even expect Australia to have not even a bit of the ball. So to see Australia actually having some possession, making passes and everything is mind blowing to say the least. Like I didn't expect Australia to be doing this far. I expected France to come out guns blazing, first 10 minutes, get a goal or two, and just kill off the game before we go far. But now Aaron Moy is having the ball. Like so many different players are getting the ball, and Australia look like a team that might actually get a goal.
No, no, Australia might actually get a goal right now, and the game is like in its 3 minutes 55, right? So Australia might actually get a goal if they continue adding the pressure. I feel like most of the people in this chat and in this stream have underrated how Australia is and how good they are as a team. They're always at this tournament. Most of these players have been at this tournament time and again. So okay, so it's not really that bad
Uh-huh.
on the Australian front. I just feel like we need to keep in mind that they do not have Kante. France does not have Conte, does not have Paul Pogba, and those guys are usually the very big impact players because the way Kante and Pogba work is because one is the ball stealing midfielder, while the other plays as the distributor. As we've talked about in African football several times, Tekratista, Regista, and all those other kind of positions. So I believe without those guys in this game, France should not underrate these guys. They should really pay attention to them and see what these guys are doing. So, guys, I can see people in the stream. Remember to drop your prediction. Would like to know what your prediction for this game is. We have our predictions already state they're there on screen. So I'd like to know what the rest of these predictions are. Mhm.
Okay. Yeah. So, what? Hey, sorry, I got caught by something else here. Yeah, so I'm back and looking at the French team right now. I heard you're talking about Paul Pogba and N'Golo Kante.
Mhm.
I know they're like two very good players, but then when I look at Paul Pogba, I feel I'm a United fan, and coming from a United place, he's not in the best form possible. He's now at Juventus. He's injured, but I don't think he was the best guy for them to actually use at this World Cup. I feel the likes of Tikumene and Kamavinga are actually becoming better players than Pogba is, because I feel they're a bit
Mhm.
quicker on the ball and Pogba is a bit slow and Pogba loses the ball a lot. So looking at what I've just from saying, I honestly feel that shouldn't really be a huge factor in this game, and I feel France should actually win the game comfortably.
No, I do understand what you're saying that France should win the game comfortably. But from previous World Cups, we've noticed that Australia isn't a walkover team. I think from today, something that I've learned from all the matches that have happened today is that football is evolving. Football is no longer one dimensional. If a team like Saudi Arabia can come out and do what they did to to basically Argentina. It should tell you a lot about what is going on in the football world. Gone are the days when everyone can just outclass South America and Europe are the only big teams in the footballing world. These days we have different regions are playing, different regions. We have the Asian Cup, we have the Arab Cup. The Arab Cup has most of the African Arab nations in there. You can see that's why the Arab nations have actually started playing a bit slightly better. With the Arab Cup, they actually played in the conditions that are very similar to the ones that are playing at Qatar. So that's why I keep saying if an African team is gonna do well, if a team is gonna do well in this tournament, it's probably gonna be a North African team or an Arab team to be precise. And Saudi Arabia has already shown us that the Arab teams have had time to prepare for this. The Arab Cup was basically their preparatory showcase, and they've had a very good standing and understanding of how football works in the region. And they have had ample time to acclimatize to the weather. They've had ample time to acclimatize to the altitude and all those other factors that do get played when you're playing at home. So for all those who are doubting Australia, I think football has evolved, and gone are the days when one team can run amok and just defeat the others. Sometimes there is a lapse of judgment in a certain team, but I do not think Australia is going to be one of those teams that lacks judgment. Hence, my prediction saying that this game might end 1-1 as a draw, because both of these teams might not be as sharp as they seem, but they might be able to get a goal nonetheless. Secondly, we're going to be looking at some of your comments. So if you are joining us in this stream, please give us a prediction and tell us where are you watching this Afrik football live stream from? Because we've noticed there are lots of people who do come into this stream, but you hardly ever want to interact, guys. This is a live stream and watch along, and what you do in a live stream watch along is you drop comments. You chat, you drop comments. That is what a live stream and watch along is all about. It's about interacting with the content creators. This World Cup is being deemed a digital World Cup, and it being a digital World Cup, it means that you have to be as interactive as possible. And just right there, we have a goal by the Socceroos. The Socceroos have gotten a goal. What did I say? Where's Mr. Mwamba? Exactly what I've said. The Socceroos do have a goal. Wait, am I daydreaming? What did I say? What did I say? What did I say about this game? There you have it. A goal by the Socceroos. Exactly what I said about this game. I'm telling you, there's no walkover team, Mr. Wamba. I was telling you exactly what I said.
Yo,
What did
yo,
I say?
yo.
There is no
It
walkover
it
team.
it,
I told
it was
you.
a beautiful goal by the Socceroos.
I
I do not
told
know what Theo
you.
Hernandez was doing there. I think he's probably sprang his knee or something. Yeah, yeah.
I
You could
always
see
told
he
you.
just
I
went.
told you there's no walkover team in this World Cup. Today is the day of
Yo,
upset. If you guys are really enjoying this, like I spoke about it, and I literally spoke about this before the start of the game. There is no walkover team in this World Cup. People have to learn to know that the World Cup curse is still well and living. It's alive and well, and there's no walkover team in this World
so
Cup. So yeah.
looking at the World Cup case, can we safely say if France are not careful, they might pack their bags? Because who else is
They
in
are
this group?
packing their bags. They're going home.
Because we've got France in this group, we've got Australia, we've got Denmark, and we've got Tunisia. If Australia can beat France, I feel Tunisia and Denmark can actually fancy their chances.
Yeah, because remember, that's what I was saying when you are dropped off the call. I was stating that
Okay.
the North African teams or the Arab teams in general are probably going to have a very good World Cup because of the Arab Cup that they played a few months ago, which allowed them to sample the conditions and the weather in in the Middle East. So I think they have a very good chance, and I believe that is what is going to be one of the best things for these North African teams. But I am going to go back and state, guys, I have stated it categorically in this game that Australia is not going to sit down and just lay down lying. They are going to get a goal. They've gotten that goal. This game is going to end 1-1, and that is my prediction. Mr. Wamba says 4-0. Mr. Swissiso Nkube said 3-0 in favor of France. But guys, this is football. And the thing that I'm telling you is football is changing. The dynamics are changing. Players are going to different countries. They are getting exposure. And you can't just expect France to be the best team out there. Just because you play in a scattered team. Most of these Australian players have played together for a long time because they've been to many World Cups. The thing that you notice about France is because France has a rotating team. France has got lots of talent. And the rotating team means that they haven't played together as frequently as you would like. It means that they do not have as much of a team chemistry as this Australian team because the Australian team plays each other consistently, meaning that they have a better team chemistry. But I'd like to hear from you,
Team
Mr. Omba. What do you
chemistry.
think would be attributing to this?
I'm still shocked. 9 minutes in, I would have never predicted Australia would actually have a goal and would be looking like the better team. Because ever since this game started, France don't look too good, and I feel they seem to have fatigue. I do not know. Maybe most of the players coming from the European leagues with high intensity, they haven't had enough time to gel together. They only had like 7 days to prepare, and it seems like the Socceroos, on the other hand, will have been preparing for quite some time. And these are some of the things that might factor in and actually maybe get France to lose this game because with how tough games have been going today, France might not even get a goal. It's not like I'm changing predictions
I like
abruptly,
how you
but
changed it so instantly. It's like, oh no, guys, France is gonna win this. The next minute, it's like, nah, guys, France might not actually get a goal. I was like, guys, don't. The thing about football, I think, the thing that we keep forgetting is there's no such things as favorites. Everyone who qualifies to World Cup is good in their own right, and I believe we ought to give them that much deserved respect. And I think that's the thing that most people have been forgetting. And as I came out here with my predictions saying that France is going to get a go here. And you guys was like, nah, G, you're lying. But honestly speaking, I feel football is evolving. And I think that's the thing we have to start factoring in. And I go to that realization this afternoon when I saw the GOAT Messi miss a free kick from his favorite sport, and I knew football is changing, the dynamics have changed. But while we are here, talking about one GOAT, we're
uh,
going to talk about another GOAT. Cristiano Ronaldo has the contract
being
has been
sacked.
released. Manchester United have released him. They've initially decided to terminate the contract. Give us your thoughts on that on that issue.
I feel that issue has been long overdue. I feel, firstly, the first people who could actually blame is the Glazers. When Ronaldo wanted to leave in the summer, I feel
Mhm,
that they should have just handed him his transfer request, let him leave for
mhm,
free, let him go to a Bayern or a Sporting Lisbon or something, and just make things easy for everyone. But they made things get to this stage where we kept him for this long, and well, all I can say now is after keeping him for this long,
mhm,
he got frustrated. He did the interview with PS Morgan, an interview
mhm,
which most United fans didn't like. But
mhm,
the Glazers work for the fans. The want the money, and they know the money is with the fans. So the moment they
mhm,
discovered the fans didn't like what Ronaldo did, they were okay
mhm,
with terminating the contract. On the pitch, I feel it's actually for the better for Man United because I feel they've been playing poorly with Ronaldo on the pitch and they play better without
mhm,
him. So for me, on my part, I would safely say with or without Ronaldo, United this season look a very good team, and in all honesty, they even look better without Ronaldo. That's my pick on that. And
All
the
right,
other thing I'll
appreciate.
probably all right, France with the ball, they're just on a counter. Mbappe.
Mhm,
Ooh,
mhm,
okay.
mhm.
Yeah, the thing I'll probably have to ask is 2026, Canada, USA, Mexico hosting a World Cup. What do you have to say about the 48 teams? Because I heard you speak about all 32 teams that go to the World Cup currently are all deserving and they're all good teams in their own respect. So now
Mhm.
that we're going to increase the World Cup to 48 teams, do you think all 48 will be good teams, or will now have a situation where some bad teams qualify for the World Cup?
Well, before I do comment on that, I'd like to just confirm that there has been two transfer that has happened. Theo Hernandez has come in for Lucas Hernandez, who's been injured. I don't know if these guys are related, Mr. Mohammed. I'd have to guide me on
Yes, they
that
are
one.
brothers. They are
Okay,
brothers.
that's actually cool. Then your brother comes in for you. It's like one of the same guy. But yeah, as you're talking
One
about the World
plays
Cup.
one plays for Bayern, the other plays for AC Milan.
All right, so I do understand. Yes, so one Bayern, one is Milan. So, yeah, you brought up some very good issues. First, I'll first tackle the Cristiano Ronaldo issue. Ronaldo, God, I'm glad he's gone. Um, the thing is, as Rooney keeps saying, not that I'm siding with Rooney or anything, as Rooney kept on saying, you can't be that vocal consistently, and you have to sometimes agree that you are past the age limit, and that's your thing. So I think Ronaldo did not factor that in, and he just thought he's gonna be a bowler. But he actually does slow down the team, and I think it's a very good thing that he's leaving Manchester United. I'm a United fan, and I'm like that. It's fine. Inshallah, the man can go. We right now we like him, we love him, we like his services, but the man deserved to go. But moving on to that, we're going to be talking about the 48 teams in the World Cup is going to be held. well, held by co-hosted by the USA, Canada, and all other teams. So for that World Cup, I'm just gonna say this, and I'm gonna make it very simple. It is imperative that for the 8 teams do play, it will not reduce the quality or the caliber of teams that do play in the World Cup. What I think it's going to do is just going to allow more people who would have had the chance and that have been left out by some small margin, one reason or another, like Italy. Italy is still a very good team. Though at this tournament, they would have at least adjusted and have done something and would have been. I'm an Italian fan, and I think we deserve to be at this World Cup. But a couple of mishaps happened. So increasing the slots is going to allow most of the teams that would have had a very real good chance to still get a chance to get into this game and play this game. So ultimately, it's not a very bad thing, and I believe Italy deserved to be at this World Cup, but due to the slots, they are not there. So if we do add additional slots to the World Cup, it's not going to diminish the quality of the teams or the players or the people who are there. It's just going to reinforce and show that certain teams that deserve to be at the World Cup were not at the World Cup, but they're going to be there now. So it's not going to be a bad thing. And that's the conversation we're having, Mr. Mwamba. If you are enjoying this content, remember to like and subscribe. And do drop us a comment. Do let us know where you're watching this Afrik football live stream from. Because the game is 1-0 in favor of Australia. And France is under pressure right now. If you are looking at Australia, they are actually moving the ball from side to side like a 3-6 Mafia song. So ultimately, Australia really is not playing that badly. And I know Mr. Mwamba was like, Australia is probably going to be beaten very badly and massacred. But this game has shown us something different. It's given us a new light that we did not assume Australia was going to have in them. So I'm really proud of the Australian team and how they're playing so far. And it's basically, as you can see on the screen, that's the amount of time that has passed. It's 18 minutes played, and Australia is actually doing very well in this game. They're holding their own, and I'm super proud of Australia. So yeah, that is how the game is going right now. And please let us know where you're watching us from, and don't forget to drop us a comment because this is what we do. Live streams and watch alongs are the people's game. Would like to have a conversation with you guys. Tell us your predictions. The game is currently 1-0 in favor of Australia, so would like to hear your predictions. Do drop us your predictions. Let us know where you're watching us from, and do give us a comment because this is how live streams and watch alongs work. You basically have a talking point. You have different conversations with the people. The fans always need to have a conversation, so we would like to have more interactions with you people. Yeah, overall, I think the France team needs to sort of like do better. It seems they're still not gelling together, and that was, as I did say earlier, it can be attributed to the fact that the France team is such a rotational team because when you have so much talent, you're always changing the roster every second minute. And from the head-to-head that we did look at, sorry, from the last past 5 forms, you will notice that the France team has been suffering and they've not been very well. And that seems like another injury to a French player. And this time, guys, France cannot afford to lose any more players. This is all I'm going to say. Yeah, guys, France can definitely not deserve to lose any more players because currently Australia is leading. France has had a substitution in terms of Theo Hernandez, who's come in for his brother who's been injured. So all I'm gonna ask is, what are your predictions? Let us know in the comments below. I can see people are joining us in. I can see people answering the poll. We have a poll that is running currently on the page, and the question was, who will win this match? Now I can see that people have started to actually click on Australia winning this match because earlier everyone who came in said that France is going to win this game 3-0 or 4-0, as Mr. Wamba kept on saying. But now everyone is coming back and starting to support Australia. But you can see on the screen right now, I've stated that Australia and France's game is going to end 1-1. And that is my belief and that is my prediction. And I'm not going to change it. And you guys can see it up there on the screen. So I'd like to know, what is you guys' prediction? Do let us know in the comments below. Then we can have interactions. We're talking about Cristiano Ronaldo. That's one of our talking points. We're having another talking point of if a bigger, expansive World Cup would mean the quality of the football and the style of play would change. And Mr. Mamba and I had that discussion, and we were talking about how right now it's a 32-team World Cup. what is going to happen when it becomes a 40 something team World Cup? Would that make it worse? Like for the 8 team World Cup, would that make the quality of the players and the quality of the teams that go to the World Cup worse? I believe my country, Zambia, who have never qualified to World Cup, would have a very good and decent chance. There was almost a chance by Australia. Australia is basically outplaying France in this game, and I won't even lie to you. Let's just basically look at the statistics. Let me just drop to the statistics of this game. Do we have statistics? It's the first time actually using this. So there is the statistics of this game, and from the ball position, you can tell that it's 58% in favor of France, but it doesn't seem like France is having that 58% in possession. As you can see there from the stats, France has had only 2 shots total, while Australia has had 3 shots. And you can see from expected goal difference right there, you can tell that France is not doing too well in their expected the expected goals in this game. As you can see, even just from the accuracy stats, you can see that Australia has had one big chance in this game, and that is the main goal that has gone in. The other thing you can take in from, you can look at the statistic data on the screen. It's going to show you more about Usman Dembele and who are the top rated players right now currently as this game is being played. Currently, the Australian players are actually having a very good game with Goldwyn and Lecky being the best performing players right now. The rest that you can see right there, the France team isn't performing too well, and that is leading to the CDMs because Theo Hernandez has been injured. Hernandez has been injured, and you can see from that there has been a drop in the shift in the paradigms of this defensive team. So currently, as it stands, guys, the game is still 1-0 in favor of Australia, and that on your screen right now is showing you who has scored, who the goals are. You can see from there that is the rating right now, the current ratings of the team. You can see Goldwyn is actually the one who got the goal, with Lecky and Goldwyn are basically playing and running and mushing this game. So Australia is doing very well, and I can see your predictions are changing. I can see more and more of your predictions are changing. And we have another comment from saying, "Hi, bro. Good live stream. I'm live as well on my channel." That's good to hear from Halo Sports World. Definitely, that's a good live stream, guys. We have to support one another as content creators. So I'd like to hear, Helios Sport, what is your prediction for this game? I'd like to know what your prediction for this game is, because that is one of the things that we'd like to know, because lots of people have been flaking. Most Mr. Mamba, who is one of this page, came out and stated that he thinks France is going to win 4-0. And I said that's not going to happen. I said this game is going to be a 1-1 game. So I'd like to know, Mr. Helios, what is your prediction for this game, guys? And all those who are watching us, remember, drop us a comment. Remember to like and subscribe. We are trying to get to 11,000 subscribers by the end of this stream. So if you guys do like and to share this video with your friends, this is what commentary is supposed to be like. This is the future of football. The future of football commentary is people can interact with the commentators and the hosts. So, guys, do drop us a comment. Let's get interactive. I can see people aren't writing us as many comments today. I understand we did not do a live stream yesterday, but we did give you content that I like to turn out for the people who actually watch those videos. So right now, you can watch and join us in this game. Guys, Australia is definitely playing better. I won't even lie to you. Statistically speaking, I feel Australia is playing better. France is basically ping-ponging it in the midfield. We are having Griezmann coming and dropping back into the midfield to actually get and trying to basically, I feel Mbappe is their key. They're trying to have Mbappe just run onto the players, but that is not how football works. You can't just have Mbappe running onto the people. Mbappe is good in his own right, but you can't just run at the people. So I'd like to hear you guys' predictions for this game. So what I'm saying is Mbappe is a good player, but you have to change the tactics. I think Didier Deschamps has to do something different in this game, because Australia seem very good. They seem very relaxed in this game. They seem not to be very panicky. So I'd like to know, what would you like to see? I'd like to see what would France do, or how would France change this game to become quite better in this game, because France seems to be not playing very well in this game. Australia seems to be more confident, and seeing the caliber and the quality of players that France has, it's very weird that they are down in this game. And as Mr. Mwamba did say earlier, he did not anticipate Australia actually getting to the position where they are in this game. So we're hoping to tap into Mr. Mwamba. He's gonna be back on the stream. I'm assuming he's still having some network issues, but he'll be joining us as soon and as when as possible. All right, I can see that there's some people who are joining us for the first time. If you're new to African football, remember to like and subscribe, guys. We are just trying to give you some content. That's the thing we do. We do content, and that's our thing. And I hope you guys are enjoying this stream. So I'm just gonna be looking at some of the tweets. I'm just reading some. Oh, there, and France has a goal. France has a goal. Is that offside? That is offside. No, that should be offside. What? Okay. France has a goal. Rabiot just got a goal, but it's okay. Let's see that. Okay, 1-1, which was my prediction. France has a goal, and it's gone to 1-1. Mr. Wamba should be joining us anytime soon. France does have a goal. It's 1-1, guys. I can see Mr. Wamba is in. Mr. Wamba, I know you're here to gloat. France has gotten a goal. I know you're probably excited by that, but I felt like it somehow was okay. It's not an off. Was that not an off? No, it wasn't an offside. Do speak to us about your. Well, France has scored, so hit us with the good news.
Well, looking at the French team, we all knew the goal was going to come with them, and like right now, I feel Australia would have had a chance if they didn't concede first half, but the way they've conceded first half, they put themselves in a bad spot because now it will probably be one way traffic all from France, and it's 1-1. The score we actually predicted, so who knows? We might actually get your final score as the final score. And have you already read the comment?
Yes, I have read the comment. Helios Sports World is actually watching. They're saying they're also streaming on their channel, which is cool. And I'm saying it's good as other creators are supporting other creators. So we just need more people to come in and be giving us some comments, guys. That's how these live streams and all this stuff works. It's about commenting and liking and subscribing. So yeah, Mr. Mamba, you were saying something before you dropped out of the stream.
Oh, yo, okay. I think my network had cut by then. I think I was talking about the World Cup case. No, no, no. I remember we
Yes,
were talking about the 48 teams. Was it the
yes,
48
talk
teams
about
World
the
Cup?
teams. Yes, talk about the teams.
Yeah, you didn't give me your feedback on. Okay, so the question was
Well,
like
well,
this. I said,
well, yeah, well, you're out of the stream, but yeah, I did give my comment on the for the 18s. I said I don't think the quality of the football dropped. Imagine if Italy was here at this World Cup. I don't think the quality of the football dropped. It will just give a chance for certain teams that are actually very good to actually show their faces at the World Cup. Some people do fall short, and I believe well Zambia does fall short for most of these World Cups, as well as certain teams like Nigeria. Nigeria has fallen short for this World Cup. Imagine Algeria as well would have been good. Imagine if it was for 8 teams. It means it would give a better chance to teams like Algeria, Nigeria, Zambia, and all those other teams that haven't qualified to this World Cup. They would have actually been at this World Cup if it was for the 8 team tournament. I don't think the quality of the games would reduce. I think the quality would be maintained. So the only thing that I think would change is that the duration of the World Cup. I don't know if more teams would mean more games, meaning more fatigue. I don't know how I feel about that, but that's my thought.
yeah, I for me, I'm not a fan of 48 team World Cup because I feel the Italies, the Nigerias, the Zambians, they're all not at the World Cup because they were not good enough to make the final cut. And for me, that's what makes the World Cup the World Cup. You need to be good enough. I do not care if they say only having one team from your continent, you need to be that one team. You need to, come to the World Cup the way it was with the Olympics for the female people, where Zambia was that one team, the female team that had to go to represent Africa at the Olympics, and they actually did a good job there, though they didn't make it past the group stage. But yeah, I feel a 48 team World Cup will mean teams like Burkina Faso will qualify for the World Cup. And to be honest with you, I do not want to watch a game, for instance, a North American team like the likes of El Salvador, Honduras, those teams that don't make it, if they make it, I do not want to watch a game between El Salvador and Burkina Faso at the World Cup. Like, I do not want to watch that. Or better still, if we look at South America, probably teams like Bolivia will start qualifying. I do not want to see Bolivia play Tahiti because the Oceania teams also get more spots. Like, I do
No,
not
I
want to
think you're
see
looking at
such
it from
games
a
at the
different
World Cup.
perspective. I feel the World Cup is a world's game, and I believe the more teams, the more people do join the World Cup, the better. I just feel like You yeah, the big teams you can skip some games. You're probably gonna skip some games. There's some of these World Cup games that you've probably also skipped, like today. I know Tunisia Denmark game wasn't the greatest game out there to watch, so I'm assuming you probably skipped that one out. So I'm assuming let people enjoy things, let more teams play, and I think the more participation to allow some people who've never been at the World Cup to do get to the World Cup. Because you remember, in the olden days, the World Cup used to just be like 16
France,
teams, and those were
Giroud
like,
gets a goal.
yeah,
Giroud scores 2-1.
yeah, I can see the Giroud go, Giroud go. Okay, all right, Giroud with the goal there. Okay, so as I was saying, bro, if you remember in the olden days, yeah, but okay, an analysis of that goal, um, I guess defensive, in the back, they actually killed it at the back. Yeah, Australia shot themselves in
Yeah,
the foot with the mistakes at the back.
I feel Australia have failed to keep their composure. Like, they just, it's like I've switched off ever since they got the goal. They're just waiting for France to attack. Ryan makes a pass to the midfield. The midfielder gets it to his wing back. His wing back loses the ball, and from there, Rabiot just makes a run, makes the easiest pass he could make to Giroud, and Giroud has like the easiest job on earth currently just to tap in the point one, open it. It doesn't get easier than that. I know a few players up against there, but
Well,
definitely
that
not
is
Giroud.
2 goals in 16 games for Giroud. And I had complained with him before the start of the game. I did mention that Giroud has a very poor conversion rate when it comes to World Cups. But I guess he's proving me wrong. He's gotten a goal, which is
Definitely,
cool. I guess he's proved me wrong.
which is very good. And then looking at the soccer rules, I feel from what I've seen today, it will be a nice game between Australia and Tunisia because I do not know where it will go. I feel it's going to be a two-way traffic kind of game because
What was our
Tunisia
prediction for
also.
that group? I'd like to remember what our prediction for this group was. That is what I'd like to remember our predictions. I will pull them up at some point because what was our conversation? Who is in this group? France,
uh, Denmark,
Tunisia.
Tunisia, and Australia. I went with France first, Denmark second,
Mm,
Australia third. No,
mm,
Australia fourth, and Tunisia third. And if I remember perfectly, you went with France first,
mhm.
Tunisia second,
Yes,
and
yes, yes. I was probably backing the Africans as usual.
exactly, and then you went with Denmark third and Australia fourth.
Mm-hmm. No, no, I do understand where you're coming from. So, someone, but I will be moving from the current location to the next location. Because I'm streaming the game, so I'll be moving from location to location, main TV. So you can hold
Okay.
down the fort, have a conversation. I will be back in a jiffy. I'm still on the stream if you need me, but I'll be back. I'll be going mute for this movement.
No problem. All right, so guys, the game is 2-1 between France and Australia. We're 34 minutes in, and we have Theo Hernandez there with the ball. Yeah, so in all honesty, looking at this game, I feel the French team will will probably win this game by over 3 or 4 goals. Like I don't see the Australian team getting any more goals from here going forward. And the French defense, the French midfielders, the French attackers just seem to all want to attack and get goals. And the way Didier Deschamps has set up this team is quite mind blowing to be honest, because the likes of Tipomene and Rabio, I didn't see them playing together. Because when the World Cup team was initially dropped, I thought the midfield would be Kamavinga, Tipomene, and Matteo Guendouzi. But then he's played Griezmann in the midfield as an attacking midfielder, of which so far has worked out, but Griezmann hasn't contributed much to Griezmann hasn't contributed much to this game. Okay, Mbappe is with the ball. Ooh, yeah, for the soccer rules, I feel Aaron Moy hasn't turned up to the game. He hasn't turned up to the occasion, and it's pretty much right sad that Aaron Moy hasn't turned up to the occasion because he's their go-to player. He plays for Celtic. He's played for Norwich. He made so many assists for the likes of Timo Pukki when he was at Norwich, and he's just that sort of a player that you actually want in your team. He's the kind of midfielder that if he played for an European team, he'd probably get more recognition. Like if he played probably in a Denmark or a Netherlands or a France or okay, his skill set doesn't give you the French vibe, but yeah, you'd probably get oh Mbappe.
Who are we bashing?
We're bashing Aaron Moy. I feel he hasn't turned up to the game.
Well, I think he's in a precarious position where everything is just on him to perform, and I think
No, okay.
that gives
So
him.
what I was saying is, I feel for this game he hasn't turned up, considering he's the guy who plays for Celtic. But I was also mentioning to say that Aaron Moy is the kind of player that if he probably played for a European nation, be it a Netherlands or a France or whatever, he would probably get more recognition for the good works he's done in the world of soccer.
No, that is true. That is true. But I think how old is he? Let me just check on that.
I'm not too sure about his age. I'm not too certain. But he seems like one of those players, the likes of Klassen from Netherlands, who got the second goal for Netherlands yesterday, where the player looks quite old because of the board head, but then he's quite young because Klassen is
Well,
like
he's
28.
32. For the record, he's actually 32, so he is old in football age. So, well, I think he's gone past his prime, and I think there's not much else that he can do because he's now gone past his prime. So, I'm assuming it's time for him to maybe retire. Maybe give other people a chance.
Okay,
What do you think? Maybe him giving other people a chance. I think sometimes you just have to give people a chance in the beautiful world of football. That's what I believe, to be honest.
true, 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 true. Understand, and I hear what you're saying. Maybe we need to give him a chance. And I've actually commended the guy for the good works he's done in soccer. And I mentioned it to say he would have been a very big player had he played for a European nation. He plays for Australia, so not too many people talk about him. But for today's game, I feel he's just been out of touch. He's in a position where he's probably going up against Griezmann because Griezmann's like the attacking midfield, and I see him like screening the midfield. So I expected him to have more of the ball and control the midfield more because that would have been an area that Australia would have capitalized on because Griezmann is not a natural midfielder.
No, that is true. That is true. Griezmann not being a natural midfielder and being more of an attacker is something I've noticed in this game. But well, he's trying to play his role very well. I would have assumed they would have used somebody else like Kamavinga to be in that role because Kamavinga is more proactive. He's younger, and Kamavinga should probably be a better player in those circumstances for that role. But I'm assuming
But
Deschamps knows what he's doing and he studied this Australian team because the Australian team doesn't have much that changes to them. It's just maybe this time Cahill retires. Next time Moore is gonna. Aaron Moore is gonna retire. That's generally how this Australian team functions and works. So I hope Australia can improve in their football, but I know my prediction has well, clearly failed right now because I said this game was probably gonna be 1-1 in favor of or well, clearly a draw. So all I can hope for is Australia gets another goal and we have a draw. You are saying that they're gonna be destroyed ruthlessly, and I can see that chance, and that was Usman Dembele. I hope Usman Dembele actually is very fit throughout the whole of this tournament because if he is very fit, it will give France a fighting chance to actually reclaim this, win it twice, back to back, like the likes of Brazil. Brazil has done that way. They've claimed a World Cup back to back. So I'm hoping Dembele can be fit throughout this whole tournament because even that slide there, I'm assuming he even got injured because the way I know Dembele is a hospital case. Dembele, I'm in the hospital anytime, any 2 minutes. And all those who are in the stream, remember to like and subscribe. We're trying to get to 11,000 subscribers. And if you're enjoying the content, if you are enjoying the content, do give us your predictions because predictions is how we know what we're talking about, where we think the game is going. And we'd like to know where are you watching this game from. I can see that people in the stream, so do tell us where are you watching this game from. So
yeah,
yeah, Mr.
yeah, yeah,
Mumba,
definitely.
we're still talking about certain the 48 World Cup and how you felt about it. So I think the next question is you still have to enlighten me about the Cristiano Ronaldo saga. Um, Okay, but before we
Oh
do go
yeah.
back to club football, do you think you know how I talked about Oh, sorry, I talked about Keanu Barkas and how he left the South African team and decided to play for Australia. What do you think
Yes,
about Haaland? Do you think if Haaland, there's a rule that you
picked
can
England.
change the nationality, do you think Haaland should have taken it?
I feel Haaland should have taken it if he wants to have a fighting chance for the Ballon d'Or, because you look at this World Cup, right? This is a place where if Haaland wins this World Cup, he wins the Ballon d'Or directly. But then he's playing for a national team that can't even qualify for the World Cup currently, so it puts him in a bad place. And it's all for Mbappe now. If Mbappe wins the World Cup, Mbappe will be like, guys, I won the World Cup, give me the Ballon d'Or, and we all give the Ballon d'Or to him. But when I look at that Norway team, Norway is not as bad as they used to be. And looking at the next World Cup, us having 48 teams, I actually see Norway qualifying because I've got the likes of Odegaard, who's the current Arsenal captain.
Mm.
They've got Haaland himself. Okay, there's a counter by France. Kylian
Yeah,
Mbappe might
that's
open his
Griezmann.
account.
Yeah, Griezmann almost shot it.
Ooh,
Okay, okay, that went wide.
oh. All right. Yeah, so like I was saying, so when I look at the Norway team, they now seem to have a bit more, that the right players. That they look like a team in the right direction, but it puts Haaland in a bad place because he will probably play his first World Cup when he's 25 or 26, of which is in the prime of a career, but midway through a career, which is bad for him as a person. So
No, but I think it's not gonna detrimentally affect him because this is the one World Cup we'll have, and currently I don't think he is very good, but I don't currently think he'd get the Ballon d'Or like today, like tomorrow. I think it takes a bit of time until the media starts pushing you. Because right now I know the media is pushing one agenda that I find very disturbing, and that's the Messi agenda. The media has just been hyping Messi in League A, and I'm like, we in the French league, we all know that like we count each goal scored is 0.5. So why is everyone acting like Messi? The first time Messi plays in the French league now because he's getting some goals. Are like, let's give the Ballon d'Or to Messi. And I know there's like this, the media, the journalists are actually moving this agenda. And you know that today they were so sad. If you notice today, them losing that game, they started highlighting how it was like well, I know Saudi Arabia had a very good performance, but imagine if it was a game where Portugal lost. I'm assuming the media would have pointed the story is Ronaldo fails to perform and save his Portuguese team. And that's the thing I hate about the media. They are still going on with that notion of who's better, Ronaldo or Messi. So if Messi just even gets to the final, if it's just a smell in the final, just a footstep there, they'll give him the Ballon d'Or even if before it started. Wow, players like Haaland have had a very good year. So how do you feel about that? Do you think Mbappe is in pole position for Ballon d'Or?
uh looking at the Ballon d'Or, I feel Messi's a loved guy, and the media need to push you for the Ballon d'Or agenda. And there have been all these random stories of Mbappe not being in good books with Messi and Neymar. So I feel Mbappe is more like a villain currently in the whole Ballon d'Or story. So it will be very hard unless he does wonders at the World Cup. But um, if I were Mbappe right now, I'll be seated thinking to myself to say, let me probably look at some of the projects in England. Let me look at the Ten Hag project. Let me probably look at the project at Chelsea. And
Oh, there's an
okay,
attack
Griezmann
by
with a
France.
counter.
Oh,
Oh, Mbappe
and
is
Mbappe
like the
misses
worst
that one.
player.
And we're just actually talking about Mbappe, and he misses that one.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'll say if I were Mbappe, I'll probably be looking at the projects in England, and I would actually go to the Prem and go and fight Haaland from there. Like you create a thing where it's you versus Haaland, and you draw the media away from trying to give the Ballon d'Or to any other player, and they'll just be looking at giving it to the two of you because it will be you versus Haaland. Like I feel right now Haaland won't follow Mbappe to the French league because it's French league. Come on, but
Farmers League is
if
French League, the Farmers League. So no, I do
so, if
understand. I
I
don't think. Yeah, you're right. He probably will not go to Mbappe. He probably will not go that direction. So I guess you're right. So I am assuming that the thing that has to be done here, Mbappe has to find a team in England. But what team can afford Mbappe in England is the question you have to ask. Well, apart from Man City, of course, Man City has money, so they can afford Mbappe. Well, I know
I
there's a
feel
project. hug at
I feel
United, but can United manage and afford him?
I feel when I look at the project at United, where they've got someone who's getting over 500,000 a week out of their wage bill, it means they could literally replace that guy with Mbappe.
Oh,
Oh,
oh.
Australia just hit the
Hey,
post. Oi, 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 oi.
That was gonna go.
Ooh. And I was looking at the minutes at the World Cup where you get ridiculous minutes for additional time, and I read an article
Yeah.
somewhere that was
Mhm.
actually talking about it, and they said every second you lose in the game is now being considered for added time. They're trying to reduce time wasting by all means. So if
Well,
you're
that's
a
actually a good
team
thing.
winning,
I think
yeah, if you're a team winning and you want to make a change, you need to make sure you make that change quickly, because the longer you take making that change, the more minutes you get added on. And even in stoppage time, if you're killing time, it doesn't matter. It could be 6 minutes at a time, but if the ball goes out for 2 minutes, that's finishing the game at 98, meaning you get an extra 2 minutes. So that's
so.
the
What
new rule for
type
the
of
big.
mechanism are they using? Are they using a countdown timer, or what type of mechanism do you think they're using? Because I'm assuming you have to pause the game as soon as the ball goes out. So you always
Exactly,
have a timer that
exactly.
tells you how much time is left in the game. Instead of counting from
Exactly.
0 to 3,
So I hear
you
that's
have
been
90.
done by the
You have,
VRR team.
oh.
Yeah, I hear that's been done by the VRR team, and then they just communicate probably to the fourth official, because that's the person
Mhm.
who carries the board and everything. Yeah,
So they're communicating the VRA team. The VRA team is the one that's doing basically the thing. Then they're telling you how much time is left. That's actually pretty cool. And talking about new technologies, the offside technology, that is amazing. I saw it today in the Argentina game. Imagine, remember that World Cup? Is it the 2010 World Cup with
yeah,
Germany England game? Right? That was
yeah,
2010 World Cup. Yeah, German England game where there
yeah,
was a goal that was given didn't add up and didn't make sense. Well, of course, it didn't make
yeah.
sense. You see, imagine if all these new technologies that come in, all these new technologies. You saw the way the VAR today was on point with the offside calls. Messi would assume he's going forward offside. Like Martinez would think he's going forward offside. And the somebody I saw a comment saying that Martinez has been on the offside more than he's been onside during that game. He's basically played on the offside. What do you think of those technologies? Don't you think those are pretty cool and amazing?
Yeah. So I feel if we were in 2010 and we had some of this
Mhm,
technology, probably that England German game would have probably gone down to the wire to a penalty shootout or something. And penalties are a game of
mhm,
chance, so I do not want to predict who would have won. But one team had
mhm,
Neuer in goals, and the other team had Robert Green. So I'll leave
mhm,
it there. Yeah. And yeah, still on the technology. I do not know if you've noticed also for offsides, it's no longer 100%, whereas you get, let's say, France 50%, Australia 50%. They've changed how
mhm.
they're also counting possession now. So there's possession, let's say nowadays you find maybe France gets 40%, Australia will
Mhm.
get 40, and then there'll be a remaining 20%. So the 20% that's left is when the ball is not in possession of any team. Such
Oh,
areas are areas where, yeah, such areas are areas where if the goalkeeper takes a goal kick and the ball is in the air, in such a case, there's no team in possession of the ball there. So that kind of possession is considered as possession of the ball not being either for France or for Australia. It's probably something you
that
also
is actually
notice. So
pretty
that's
cool as a statistic. I actually did not know that is actually good. I've been noticing on the bottom of the screen they've been giving us like a pitch. The way they do it in the PSO, I don't think that is very novel. The PSO has had this type of technology for a bit where they'll tell you like, okay, the ball is in play for this amount of position, this amount of position, and this amount is not played in the air. And you know how Southern African football is. Half the time the ball is in the air, so it's always a huge number. The number is just always a huge number.
exactly, exactly. And now the World Cup have adopted it, so it's also part of the new things that FIFA is doing at the 2022 World Cup.
No, that is pretty cool. As a person who has been a fan of the sport for a long time, it's good to see that this strides in technology is being taken place because the world of football deserves some more advancements. But I was looking at Wenger and him stating that they want to bring, is it like a green card or some other types of cards where it means the person could be suspended instead of just being taken off the pitch like in rugby rules for like a few minutes. How do you feel about those?
I have seen a few videos on the proposed sim being in football where maybe they take you out for 5 or 10 minutes based on some challenges, and I from the videos I've seen, it looks like a good idea because, for instance, hey, um. We have a situation. I'll just mention random players. Rashford is on a counter attack.
Mm,
Kieran Trippier is the last man. Rashford manages to dribble past Trippier, and it's probably somewhere at the center circle, like at the
mm,
center of the pitch, and
mm,
there's a goalkeeper, of course, in the goal for Newcastle United. And then we see
yep.
Trippier pull Rashford, and then Rashford falls. And then Trippier gets a direct red card because,
Mm,
he pulled Rashford off the center back. There's no guarantee that that was a goal scoring opportunity. We do not know by the time Rashford covers the pitch from the center circle to the other box if maybe another defender like Shah might have actually made the run and stopped Rashford before he gets to the keeper. But we just
mm,
assume that okay, this was a goal scoring opportunity, so direct red card
mm,
to Trippier. So when the sim bin is introduced, when the new card is introduced, such cases are the cases probably FIFA wants to look into and say, okay, it will be left in the referee's hands to decide. But if you're given a sim beam, it's better because in such a case, Trippier will only be taken out for 5, for 10, for 15 minutes. But then he
mm.
will come back to the game and still take part in the game. I feel red cards in the world of soccer should be for career-ending tackles. Not a guy just pulling another guy off the shirt and he gets a red card. I feel that
Well,
doesn't make sense. Or
I would add on to say, aside from career-ending tackles, you'd also have it for maybe goal scoring opportunities. There are those goal scoring opportunities where like this is an all or nothing affair. Like today there was one that I saw in the Saudi Arabia game. There was an all or nothing affair, and the man
Mhm.
just kicked the guy. He's just like, you know what, I'm just gonna kick this guy. If this guy goes, he's gonna get a goal. He's not gonna put- The guy's like, you know what, boom. I was like, that was not even a professional tackle. That was just like a tackle without it being anything. But yeah, anyway, we are at halftime, Mr. Mwamba. We need to do our halftime discussion right now. So the game is currently 2-1 in favor of France, guys. It's at the halftime mark. Australia is down by 1 goal. They did score first. Score first. But France went on and equalized in this game. And as you can see currently on the screen, Giroud got a goal assisted by Adrian Rabiot, while Rabiot scored the equalizer assisted by Theo Hernandez. While on the side of Australia, it's Greg Godwin who has the first goal. And in that light, we've noticed that the possession is 60% to 39%, as you can see on the screen. Shots has been 11 from France, and there's been 4 from Australia, with 2 of France's 11, the ones being going in, and 1 from Australia from the 4 being the one going in, with the corners being 5 in favor of France and 0 in favor of Australia. Mr. Wamba, any comments on this game? How did you see this game? How's the referee performing? We know it's Victor Gomez, who's South African. How is the referee performing in this game, Mr. Wamba?
I feel for Victor Gomez, it's been a relatively easy game to officiate because we've had him in situations where like France are just playing a clean game. Australia also just playing a clean game. There's not much going on between the two teams. There are not too many fouls here, and so Victor Gomez has had a very very good time.
No, I understand. I can see. I can actually. I'm looking at some of the tweets, and I'm like, we should definitely do a tweet reaction video. There's so many funny, hilarious tweets on the internet. I was just thinking, you and me need to take a day off. Tomorrow's video will probably be a tweet reaction video if we have no big video coming up.
No problem. Can you just give me a second? I collect my charger.
No problem, no problem. Do you wanna drop out of the stream? We can leave in the stream or not. But yeah, whichever you can feel free. Feel
You
free.
can just cut me off the stream. Like,
All right, we'll put you off the stream. All right, guys. So it's still halftime, guys, and the game is slightly interesting. I won't even lie. Australia started off with a bang by actually getting a goal. You can see that Hernandez is out, but Australia started off with a goal, a very good, decent goal by Goldwyn. But France has come back from the pit and they've got two goals. And of those two goals, we did speak and discuss them recently with Mr. Mwamba. And those two goals came from Oliver Giroud as well as Rabiot. These are the two players who've gotten those goals. And we had a very brief discussion about how Giroud has been bad in most World Cup games, only getting four, well, only getting two goals right now out of his 15 or 16 appearances for the French national team. But currently, as you can see, the stats are up on your screen. Giroud with Rabiot being the best performing player for the French team, while for the Australian team, Godwin is the best performing player. Currently, still 2-1 in favor of France, of course. And our predictions were up on the screen. Me and Mr. Wamba predicted, as you can see right now on the screen, we predicted that I predicted the game was going to end as a draw. And I still believe this game is going to end as a draw. What type of a draw it's going to be, I could not anticipate. But Mr. Mwamba said it's gonna be four. So since the goals have started coming in, Mr. Mwamba's come out and stated that he believes it's gonna be a walloping. He believes France is gonna wallop this Australian team, and that's what we're waiting to see if France is gonna wallop the Australian team. So, but ultimately, as you can see from this game, France seems to be taking it easy. They might actually win this game quite easily. But I don't know how you guys feel about that. Do let us know in the comments below. Do give us your predictions. Where are you watching us from? You guys haven't been very interactive. I know this is the very last game. It's been a tiresome and stressful day. We've watched 4 games. So I'm assuming now that we're back, it's gonna be something different. We're gonna be chatting. This is live stream Watchalong. As you can see, even my energy is kind of low right now because we've been streaming the whole day. We've been doing matches. So we're just here, guys. Drop us a like in the comment. Give us that motivation. We'd like to hear from you guys. So Mr. Wamba is back on the stream. Welcome back, Mr. Wamba. I was saying that today the stream is low energy because I'm assuming because it's the last match of the day and we've watched 4 matches of football. So the people might be tired. So what do you have to say about the content, Mr. Wamba? Do you have any words of encouragement for the people?
yeah, we just love the people to come in and watch all the African football videos for the World Cup. And I feel we've been pretty consistent during this World Cup in dropping videos for the groups, predictions, and everything. So you guys continue liking and sharing what we posted African football. And please don't forget to subscribe. And yeah, pretty much that. And just continue watching African football. You won't go wrong.
Yeah, we're still trying to get 11,000 subscribers, guys. We are 11 people away from the landmark, from the milestone that we want. So, you guys who are all in the stream, just like and subscribe, and you'll be helping us get through. So, yeah, one more thing, Mr. Wamba. I can see there are lots of talking points right now. I feel the French goalkeeper, Hugo Lloris, he hasn't had much to do. Your overall
I feel
assessment. I'll just dragging on the screen right now. We're putting the current match ratings of the players. Any comments on the match ratings of the players? Because right now, Rabiot is the best performing player in the French squad right now because of the assist and the goal that he has. He's been given a ranking of 8, with Godwin, who has a goal on the other side for Australia, being the best ranking players. What do you think? But who do you think is the standout star currently for this game?
well when I look at the teams here and I look at the standings and everything, I feel looking at the French players, I expected more of them, or rather the whole team, to actually have a green tag to be at least above 8. So, anyway, that was my expectation before the game kicked off. But to see the likes of Upamecano, Pava, and Hernandez not be in the green zone brings a lot of doubt in their defense now in this tournament, because I feel even they have not been the most solid defense, because I remember Australia just hit the post like recently, and also
Mhm.
Australia scored a goal. So it shows that on another day, if they meet a team that can actually score and defend, that team will be able to get that one goal. But I do not see what France will do in return to score. Okay, if that team can defend, I don't see France getting that goal. And if that team manages to score because of France's poor defense, then France might not retain the World Cup.
No, I understand. I can see. I think the question that we have to be asking ourselves is Is France? Do you think France is the best team in this tournament to retain the World Cup? Like, do you ultimately think France can retain this World Cup? What is your thought? Do you think France is that good to be able to retain this World Cup? Because I don't see it right now. I've seen these guys and I don't see them being the world beaters. Well, I'm still waiting to see how Brazil is gonna perform. But what do you think?
Pardon?
I'll say in France. Do you think France might be actually be the ones to win this World Cup? Do you think they have it in their rights to win this World Cup? Because ultimately, the World Cup case is one thing, but them winning it is another thing. But do you think they can win it?
Well, that's a tough question. That's really a tough ask, but oh, they look like one of the few composed teams at this World Cup. They look like one of the few teams that has got a good goalkeeper, a good back four, a good midfield, good strikers. I didn't say world class. I used the word good. So
No, I
they
guess yeah,
actually
yeah.
do.
Being pretty diplomatic by the usage of the word "good."
Yeah, they actually have it in them to get past several stages of the World Cup, but winning it would be pushing it, to be honest. But who knows? It's a French team, and if they win the World Cup this time around, I guess I know France has like been a football powerhouse, but people have been like, yeah, France are an okay team, but they've never really got that respect. So I feel if they win the World Cup now, like people will put them in a similar bracket with the Brazils, the Germanys of this world, the Italies. So I feel they've got it's the boys in their court, like it's
Mhm.
all theirs to prove.
No, I do understand it. It is actually up to France to prove that they are the better side, and they can be a world beater. But I'm assuming in this game, the way they've conceded, I'm assuming if they meet anyone with real star power, with real star quality, they are probably not going to last as long as we think they're going to last. So that's the only thing that I have against France. But I do like this French team, but I just don't see them beating everyone in the world right now. I think it's a bit too far fetched if they have had a Navy start to this game against Australia. I don't know how they're gonna fare going forward. But hey, all we can do is wait and see. So is there and let me just move on to our next talking point, Mr. Wamba. Just give me a minute.
No problem.
Who do there's Dembele or there are the stat pads and the player and the way the players have been performing. That is Giroud and I'm assuming his goal expected goal difference, but that is fine. I'm assuming there we can look at the possession, we can look at these statistics. Well, France's goal expected goals have gone up instantly, clearly because they've had two goals, and I'm assuming they've had lots of chances. But the biggest question we're going to ask right now is, what do you think Australia needs to do to get back in this game?
I feel Australia just need to increase their intensity a bit. We've already seen the French defense has been shaky. So if Australia just increase their intensity, try to catch France off guard, because I'm sure France at halftime haven't been shorted that. They're just there. They're like, okay, guys, come on, we can do this. Let's be a bit more clinical. That's probably what Deschamps is telling them um, at the halftime team talk. So if Australia can come in second half, try to in the early stages of second half, try to push and get a goal. I feel they'll be in a good place and they can actually make a comeback. It is possible.
No, I do understand them making a comeback is probably something that would like to see. I generally like a good upset. That's my thing. You know me, I love to see a good upset. And I think today's afternoon one, the Messi one, I know what you guys are going to say I'm a Messi hater, but guys, that was a beautiful upset. An upset made for the GOAT. And it was so poetic because Saudi Arabians we do like some goats. So it was nice to see them actually beating the goat out there. But yeah, ultimately I think the changes that need to be made in the Australian team is they're right. Some intensity. They just need to add on and apply the pressure. They're not a very bad team. I can see what they're doing. I can see where they're going, but they just need to add a bit more of the intensity. So if they do add intensity onto this game, I think they could probably get a couple of goals, and it would get better. I think the game would probably get better, but I think France might be getting too comfortable. If you can see, Deschamps was already in the tunnel before the other players came out, so it's just showing you how much Deschamps is probably his team talk was just like, guys, we, yes, 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 we are gonna win this game, but I don't know by how many margins. So that's basically what Deschamps was saying. But sometimes I think underestimating people is what led to Argentina's downfall today. Argentina underestimated the Arabic, the Saudi Arabian players, and it was just like they did not understand that Saudi Arabian team has played all the of all those players in the 11, about seven play for Al Hilal, which is one of the best teams in Saudi Arabia. So I'm assuming Hevrena knew his people, knew his team, he knew how to joke with them, and I'm assuming if France goes with this laissez-faire attitude in this group, they might actually lose to somebody like is it Tunisia going forward.
True, 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 true. And that would have that that would be an interesting encounter, because there's always been this. I do not know. It's historic. North African nations, the Tunisians, the France, Tunisia, Algeria, Morocco, they were all colonized by France, and they just have this thing whenever they meet the French team, it's like they've got a point to prove. They just want to, you know, play against France and show them, yeah, we're now a better nation ever since you guys left, kind of arrangement. So I yeah, I hope to see that match, and hopefully, yeah, we should probably even do a live stream on it or something.
Yeah, definitely we're gonna do a live stream on that. So I think I'd like to categorically state that we're gonna be choosing at least a match every day that we'll be doing a live stream on. I've noticed like overall I've been talking to some of the people and look at the streams. It seems most of the people have had like viewing fatigue today because not many people have actually watching streams across YouTube. So I don't know what well, 4 matches is a lot because I we started watching from the Saudi Arabian game to this very game. So guys, it's been like very tiresome. So just give us a like and a subscribe and like drop us a comment where you're watching us from. That's the kind of stuff we'd like to hear from you guys because clearly I don't believe that you could be here and you do not write us a comment. So yeah, Mr. Wamba, yeah, you're right. I I'm trying to remember what you're saying because I think the sleep is getting to me. But yeah. Well, I can state right now that there are no changes that have been made to both teams since coming off the bench, also since coming off the halftime talk. So both teams are maintaining probably similar shape. So that intensity me and Mr. Mumba were talking about, Australia has to find a way to build it with the same players they have in it. And we've noticed that they actually playing some good sleek 1-2 touches and they're not very bad. Okay, this Australia's had a chance. They're in the
But you
box.
see,
Okay, Australia.
this is exactly what we're talking about, where we need Australia to actually come in second half and get a goal quickly. Like, I like what they're doing right now. Oh, okay. Apamakano, they get a corner.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Upamecano
So
was actually dribbled there.
exactly. So if you're a member of the Australian team, you're supposed to probably be pushing for this half, like second half, the early moments of second half. Within the first 5 to 10 minutes, you get your goal, and you just make it an heavy affair for the French team. Because if you score now, France will be there panicking. Everyone will be looking at each other. They'll be like, "How did we allow Australia to get 2 goals against us?" And then that's the moment you attack.
No, that is true. That is what is gonna happen here. So, it seems France might actually be very quite negligent. Remember that header that came in that hit the post. That is what is showing you that France's defense isn't as good as it thinks it is. So, if we're wise and you're smart about it, I think Australia could probably be able to get a few goals in here. And I'm assuming they could. I'm still sticking to my prediction. This game is gonna be a draw. I know my prediction has changed because of the goals that have been scored, but it being a draw is essentially what I just wanted to say. So Australia can still get something from this game. They can still grab a point and still keep this group properly and singly wide open.
True, true, true.
I don't mind me. I've just had a very long day. You can even see from the yawning that this man is going through a sad phase.
And I feel the day has been so long. We've been watching soccer since 12 hours, and it's almost 24. So, and the best part or worst part about this World Cup is you get a game after every hour. So you watch a game, you wait for an hour, next game, and during that 1 hour where you're waiting for the next game, you have the lineups. You'll be preparing content for the YouTube channel and watching match build-ups. So I'm sure the people do understand why we
Yeah, so
probably
guys,
both
yeah,
thought so that.
we're putting in a lot of effort in getting content to the people. So just a like and a subscribe and sharing the page. Let's get as many people here. We can get discussing. I know we're not barking at you like Speed would be barking at the people, but we are giving you some good content, some good facts, straight up facts. Me and Mr. Mwamba here. So you guys like and subscribe will be very appreciated because, well, this is one of those games where you'd probably be watching it in your bed sleeping, but we're giving you live commentary here. And France has an attack, and okay,
Tickle me.
and okay,
Oh,
that is
I
risky.
fancy Kamavinga scoring that. I feel if Kamavinga took
Yeah,
that shot, it would have gone.
Kamavinga is a straight bowler. Kamavinga would have probably just scored that one quite easily. That's what Kamavinga does. That's what Kamavinga.
But
That's what. There is
Giroud.
You wanted to go for an acrobatic goal. You wanted to go for one of those acrobatic goals that Drew is known for. If you saw
And
the
he's
scorpion,
a
the
huge fan of them.
hitting you wide with a bicycle kick.
He's a very very huge fan of those acrobatic goals. It never gets better than that. He went high. Oh, okay, yeah. So yeah, it it goes back to what we were saying. I feel the Aussies Australia would have been attacking right now, not what we're seeing where they actually look like they're the guys who are ahead or something. I feel it's them who ought to be attacking now. Okay, because a good
Mm-hmm.
counter.
Mm-hmm.
Loris can't save that.
Why not? Why not? Why can you not save
Okay,
that?
it was a back pass.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, I'm looking at it. Sorry, I was looking at the tweets.
No problem. Australia actually having a proper build up.
Yeah,
There are a few
Australia
runs
is
here and
actually
there.
very good at the passes. Like I've been noticing Australia has very good pass ratio. So let me just look at their passing ability. Let's just find that statistic. Pass accuracy. That is actually pass accuracy. They have an 83%. So they're not bad. They're not very bad because you can see France has an 87. They have an 83 pass accuracy, which is very, very
86.
good. And seen from the number of passes and their position, that's actually a very good statistics. I won't lie to you guys.
And I feel the Socceroos have really improved. I remember seeing them in the days of Team Cahill, where it would only be Cahill playing soccer, and everyone else would be like, get the ball to Cahill. And Cahill was like, he was very good, don't get me wrong, but he wasn't like a Messi or a Ronaldo, one of those exceptional players who can carry a team on their own. Like, but you would see those traits in him anyway. But now
No,
I
that
feel
is
they've
true.
improved.
Kehu was actually one of those players that I thought was very good. I miss his punching the flag celebration. Those are the things that you really actually did miss from Kehu. But time and age does catch up with players. More like Ronaldo, time and age just caught up with him. Sometimes you just need to like throw in the towel, relax and rest. You don't need to force these things sometimes.
Exactly. What do you have to say about Lewandowski's penalty miss?
I think Lewandowski has too much pressure on him. Everyone adds this Polish pressure on him, and then that's why I think he crumbled under the pressure. You see at Barcelona, where he's surrounded by many other stars, he's been having a very good, relatively better games time. But when he goes to the national teams, like everyone wants him to do something, and they are applying pressure on him, and that's the reason I think he felt he missed that penalty. But what are your thoughts? What
Okay.
what, what is your thought process of that one?
I've seen Zelensky take penalties at Napoli. I feel he's a better penalty taker. I've seen you know um I've seen Matty Cash take a penalty in the Carabao Cup, the EFL Cup. I'm not saying he's a better penalty taker, but I'm saying they would score those penalties against the likes of Ochoa. And I feel Lewandowski, there are times where you, as the main guy in the team, need to acknowledge that there may be some other guys who can take penalties better than you. And probably give them those penalties. I know Lewandowski is a star, but give the penalties to Zelensky and yeah, sure of a goal because now Lewandowski has
Lewandowski is so
missed.
old. This might be his last World Cup, though.
Yeah, it is his last World Cup, right? But then you need to make it a team thing. Get your team as far as possible. No one will, like, I know everyone remember you for missing a penalty, but that's a bad way to be remembered for. Look at Gian. Like, Gian can get past that penalty. Like, even people that don't watch soccer will be like, is this a guy that missed a penalty in 2010?
The guy is
You
going
don't
through a
want
lot.
that.
I feel like you look at him as like you should see him every time he's on an interview at Super Sport and everyone's talking about Ghana. They're always like, "Oh, that penalty miss," and he's just like, I know, guys, I know, I did that. That was me. I'm
Ex-
sorry."
Exactly. Exactly. So I feel you would rather do it as a team, maybe reach a semi-final, and everyone would be like, yeah, though Lewandowski scored one goal, but that Polish team reached a semi-final. Like, you want to be that guy.
Now, I guess all you have to do as a football player sometimes is, well, give your friend a chance. Somebody else brought something to my attention that I really appreciated. Um, in that behind the scenes of that Louis Vuitton famous picture with Ronaldo and Messi, there's a statement that Ronaldo stated something like, when they asked him, "What was your favorite moment?" It's like, "My favorite moment is when I won Portugal the trophy, the tournament." You see, you could tell the difference between Ronaldo and then Messi. When they asked Messi the same question, he said he spoke in Spanish, but he said something to the effect of it was something about bringing it to the Argentine people and stuff like that. You can see that's why you can see that there's a bit of a difference between Ronaldo. Ronaldo said, "I won the trophy for Portugal," while Messi more of like accept or just basically say that the people of Argentina accepted him, and him bringing them the trophy was the acceptance of him, and that was him. For him, he was doing it for the people. While Ronaldo was just like, "I brought the trophy to the people," and I was like, you can tell like these are two different people. And the thing I hated about that behind the scenes footage, they did not show them like shaking hands or hugging or talking to each other. Or it's like they just brought the two guys like guy A comes in, guy B comes in. They're like, "You hold your head, you look at the board, you do that," and it's like, then like, "Guys, goodbye, bye, bye." I don't understand it. Why would you have two goats
Oh,
in the same?
Cummins is in. Cummins is in.
Yeah, yeah, based on your prediction, Cummins is in on the game again. I'm looking at him right now. But wouldn't you like a Socceroo jersey though?
It looks very nice. It's got the South African touch. I feel South Africa would wear this at any given time, and
Hmm.
it looks really really nice, to be dead honest with you. But I don't know where I would get it from in Africa. So if there are any Australian fans watching this, you care to share Socceroo jersey, send it over via DHL. I'll be very delighted.
Yeah, definitely. This is like a very good looking jersey. It's the same. Somebody today came up to me, is like, "Yo, are you with Afri football?" I'm like, "Yes." I would like you to like get me a jersey for Saudi Arabia, and I'm like, "Dude, I'm not that guy right now." Like I know Saudi Arabia is just beating your favorite team, Argentina, but I know you want to burn the jersey, so I was not gonna facilitate that transaction for that man. But if you like to buy any jerseys, we do have jerseys. We have national team jerseys, but it's more of the popular ones. But we'll try and get a contact for the better national team jerseys. And there'll be lots of Black Friday sales, Mr. Mamba. Which jerseys are you hoping to get during the Black Friday sale?
During the Black Friday, so of course I need a German jersey because that's like the team I support, and I like the Brazil blue with the yellow hands and everything. Another jersey I probably like. So far, I don't like the French jersey; it looks too plain. Another jersey I'd probably like to have is the black Denmark jersey, the jersey that just where they're going all blackout because of the Qatar thing is the blacked out everything. So
Mm.
I like blackout jerseys,
That's
so that's
nice.
another jersey
That's
I'd like.
I'm getting the Dortmund blacked out one for my Black Friday. That's my gift from me to me.
Okay.
Yeah, that's just I'm planning on getting. But yeah, ultimately, how do you? Well, the game, guys, currently is 57 minutes played. It seems France has just picked up from where they left off in the second half, And Mr. Wamba might be dropping out of the call for a short bit. I need to get a charger for the
Okay.
modem, so I will be with you. You can just keep the people entertained, give them some facts, tell them some facts, straight facts, my brother.
No problem. No problem. No problem. All right. So, guys, we are back at Afrik Football, and we're just talking about the jerseys and the jersey sales and the promotions we'll have on Black Friday. So you can order your jerseys with Afrik Football. You can get in touch with us on Twitter. You can get in touch with us on Facebook. The game is 58 minutes in, and currently there's not much happening in the match because the French team seems content with a 2-1 result, and the French fans don't look happy. That's the one thing I've noticed about this game. Then the Australian fans are like, well, 2-1 is not as bad as we thought we would play, so they're okay with probably the score. But hello, you're back.
So it's basically a repeat. Okay, that's Francis trying to get another goal. Dembele with the ball,
Griezmann with the ball.
Griezmann with the ball, Mbappe tried to backheel it to Griezmann, and that didn't go accordingly. So no, yeah, you're saying you think France, you think Australia has just thrown in the towel.
Yeah, at this stage, okay, I can't really say they're throwing in the towel, but I'm sure they didn't expect themselves to be just a goal behind after 60 minutes, and they probably also didn't expect themselves to get a goal. Like, so I feel they're in a good place. If the game ends to one, they won't, excuse me, they won't kill themselves, they won't crucify themselves of like, we tried and stuff didn't happen, it's normal, and we move on and we try to play Tunisia and Denmark. That's probably the positivity they'll pick from this game.
That is actually quite good. If you go up against the current world champions, and oh,
Mbappe,
that is a very good. Oh,
oh,
Mbappe is having an odd game. That's the reason that somebody has been telling me Mbappe is all pace and no skill. So right there, Mbappe was just like, I'm gonna run forward and just blast it and make and hope something happens when I blast it going forward, and that's why nothing amounted to that there.
true, true, true. He makes that pass, Giroud with a flick. Okay, I see. That was some good defending by the Aussies.
I can see that. All right, guys, 60 minutes past. We're a quarter. Oh, we've done. What is the official statement when you get to 60 minutes mark? Quarter of the game has been played. A quarter,
It's 3 quarters, I think. Wait,
the hour
yeah,
mark has been reached. Sorry, yeah, that was the statement I did say. We're at the hour
okay.
mark, which is 60 minutes played in the game. Yeah, and it's France leading 2-1, as you can see on the screen currently. Australia is still down with one goal, and Juro did some magic. Australia just seems to not be finding any rhythm going forward. So we just have a couple more minutes to play in this match, but it seems all but wrapped up right now for France. I think France is probably gonna get these points, and someone was right. France is gonna win this game.
Um, uh, I'm still not impressed with the way France have played. I feel Tunisia and Denmark will still fancy their chances against this French team because they don't look solid.
Mhm. That is true. But I can see them attacking. They're consistently attacking. Don't forget that the yellow team, the Socceroos, have actually sort of maybe packed the bus in this kind of particular football match. What do you think?
Now, you see, if the Socceroos had packed the bus, I don't think
Mm-hmm.
they've got like the best defensive attributes. France was
Mm-hmm.
supposed to, like dominate and score more goals, and just make them get confused. But it seems like one of those games where if France hold on or keep on doing what they're doing right now, the Socceroos might just have one break or one counter and will be at 2-2 and will be out here calling you a prophet for predicting a draw.
Definitely, for me, a draw is something that I've been thinking about. It's still gonna come out. So if we do get a draw, you guys can just start calling me prophet because as I told you earlier, I was like Saudi Arabia. it's gonna do some damage in that group. And you're like, nah, man, I'm gonna put them at the bottom because hey, who Rena, these Arabs can't play football. But I was like, nah, fam, I know this in the blood. I've watched my man, Hevrina, the Zambian man, Mr. Wildcat himself, the Mr. Boom white detergent cleaner. That man has been here. You guys, I was on Twitter and everyone on Twitter was saying, every African on Twitter saying, you don't know African football if you don't know this man. They were like, the world does not know how much this man has terrorized Africa with his white shits. They're like the power of the white shits in my mind. That's like boom. Man calls Straight Kings to send him some boom, some washing detergent paste. The man is really a very good coach. Tactically, I love the tactics he was playing. His team was playing a very solid at the back, which was very cool. All right.
Okay, Mbappe is with a ball. Mbappe with it. Mbappe takes a shot. All right.
He's not
So
good.
just to tell you more about Heverina's history. So
Mhm,
he was Claudio Leroy's assistant manager in Ghana. And Kalusha Walia, the then Football Association of Zambia president, spotted Heverina and said, "Okay, come over to Zambia and coach the Zambian team." He took the Zambian team to the 2008 AFCON, and from there, he carried that very team and took them to the 2009 CHAN, of which was the
mhm,
inaugural competition of the CHAN, and they finished third. The Zambian team finished third, and that's when, for most pundits, even us at Afrik football at that point, were like, okay, this man at least knows what he's doing. He carried local players to the CHAN tournament and finished third. Then
mhm,
2010, he carried the Zambian team to the quarterfinals of the Africa Cup of Nations. Yeah,
mhm,
and those were hosted in Angola. And
mhm,
then we're like, oh, okay, Zambia's made a quarterfinal, and we hadn't made a quarterfinal in a long time. We're a group stage kind of team because I'm
mhm.
Zambian, so I'm speaking on the
Arsenal,
Zambian
Mateo,
perspective.
Ate.
Exactly. Then after that tournament, there was, some financial wrangles between him and the Football Association of Zambia. So he left for Angola. When he was in Angola, maybe the language barrier, he didn't do much there anyway. And he
Mhm,
was released from Angola less than 7 months into the job. So after being
mhm,
released, Zambia had a manager called Dario Bonetti. Dario Bonetti had financial issues with the Football Association of Zambia, and we had just qualified to the African Cup of Nations. That's 2012, and we needed a
mhm,
manager, so we brought in Rena. And all the pundits I know in my country were like, how do you bring in a guy that has failed already? How do you bring in a traitor? How do you bring in a guy that went to Angola for the money? And
mhm,
we, as the Zambia national team, were not happy with him, coming back. Most pundits were not happy, at least. But the team looked solid. The team then went to the Africa Cup of Nations. And okay, Griezmann is with the ball on the counter, gives the ball to Theo Hernandez. Hernandez might just cross it. Hernandez gets the ball again, crosses time. Griezmann, did that go in?
no, I did not.
Okay, on
At this
on the
rate,
line.
with the way technology has gone in the realm of football, I'm like at this point, if a referee doesn't move, I'm just like it's not going in. I don't even speculate anymore. I feel like I've been given some humble pie with this VAR calls, especially the offside one. I'm just like, this is my humble pie. I shan't be speaking. Yeah,
All
but
right.
you're giving a good history of Hevrena. I feel like we need to do a video on Hevrena and this history.
Oh,
Oh, there's
Kylian Mbappe with a goal.
oh, Mbappe, the
He
the
opens
youngsters
his World Cup
account.
account. Imagine being Haaland right now. You just be like, oh, that's you know, he,
It's like I was
he's
born in the
probably
wrong country.
he's probably sent shivers down Haaland's spine. Yeah.
But
So
do you think
so
Alan was born in the UK? Wasn't he born in England? So wouldn't he
he
have been
was
able to
he
play for
was born in Manchester. He was eligible to play for England, but he picked Norway because after his dad retired, they went back to Norway and they were there for quite some time. And you know, he probably picked his country because his dad also played for Norway, and He probably
I
wanted to.
personally, well, his dad was playing a different position and did not have as many goals. If I was him, I would have definitely signed for England. England would use your services, and you'd have made England a far much better team. But hey, talking about England, we did do a recap of yesterday's game. So talk about England and their 6-2 win with Mr. Dr. Marcus Rashford, MBE, and the works is done.
Yeah, that was a very good game. Saka, Rashford, Jude Bellingham. It felt like a redemption game after what happened in the Euro final for the young lads. It's at such moments where you wish Sancho was there, and just he probably also gets a goal for himself. He, so as Sancho, um, where was I? When Sancho gets a goal for himself, when Sancho gets a goal
Sancho
for
must
himself.
be dreading the fact that he was not taken. Why has Sancho been deactivating most of his accounts? I haven't been following his story or his accounts, but I've seen that he's blacked out. He's probably privated all of his images on Instagram. So what is that even about?
I don't know. And the funny thing is, Ten Hag isn't talking about him being injured, but then you don't see him training. For Marcel, it's different because Marcel has been training with the young lads under 18s, under 23s, but for Rashford, it's been a different case.
That is true. No, well, not particularly Rashford. Oh, so sorry, Sancho. I mean, it's been a different case. So, I heard maybe he's having some family issues, some personal problems, but I don't know. I think somebody might need to get to the bottom of it. But uh, Southgate, what do you think about Southgate in this team right now? I know England has been celebrating that Iran win, but guys, it's Iran. You can't act like it's coming home. I know I'm also one of those people who was in the bandwagon. Like, guys, football's coming home, but it was Iran. We need to be more realistic as England fans. The England fans, of course, I'm not an English fan. They need to be more realistic. That was just Iran. I don't think they made Iran very good. But how do you feel about that?
Um, they don't look bad, like Maguire at defense is like one of the weak points, but he's playing in a back three, so what he's not doing right, the other two might compensate, or at least might help to compensate for him. And the wing backs are doing the Lord's work. The midfield of Jude Bellingham is working out okay, and the strikers are very good, so it might come home. Yeah,
To be
so
honest, I actually
um,
thought Maguire was not as bad as you people think he always is. Yesterday, he had a very good showing. He didn't play like a typical Manchester United player, and that's what I appreciated. All right,
Giroud
then
with the
there's
fourth
another
goal.
one for Giroud with the fourth goal. As you
Yeah, I
said,
think
Mr. Momba's prediction is in. It's just that there's one goal that's disturbed, but it's for France.
exactly. You you look at this French team, and there's no World Cup case for them. I can assure you.
Mhm. I can see that. Yes, there's no World Cup
Yeah,
case
so
for
I
them.
was talking about Haverina. So I'll just rewind the story a bit and go back to 2011 when we brought him
Mhm.
in as a Zambia national team, and most pundits in the country were saying he's not the right guy. We should have found another coach. We should have got a local coach. At that
Mhm.
particular time, we had so many good local coaches, the likes of Nomba, Momba, and many others, George Lwandamina. But then, um, yeah, but then he carried the team. He took them to the 2012 Africa Cup of Nations, the Zambian team. So they played
Mhm.
their first game against Senegal, and it was a star-studded Senegal with the likes of Demba Ba, Papiss Cissé, um, so many good players. And Zambia
Yeah.
beat Senegal. They played Libya. Zambia drew with Libya. They played the host Equatorial Guinea. Zambia beat Equatorial Guinea 1-0. They played Sudan. Zambia beat Sudan 3-0. That's when the hope and the determination in the Zambia players just came in. Then, oh, of the two substitutes I wanted to come in for Australia, both come in.
No, I can see, but do you
So,
think they'll make cause any impact? But yeah, so as we were talking about Renard, no, I can see where the story with Renard is going, but I think we should do a video on that one. We should definitely collaborate and do a video on that one. I think that story is something that people need to hear. But yeah, so far I'm looking at Gomez right now. How's been Gomez's performance? And I guess the other question would be, the changes that Australia is making, do you think they'll be very impactful? Do you think these are the impact changes?
Before the game started, I talked about them. Oh, okay. This young lad has also come in. He got his national team call up just recently. Like he did not even know he was going for the World Cup. He was so happy when he was picked. Yeah. So where was I? We're talking about the changes. Yeah. Before the game started, these were the changes we're actually talking about to say we'll be happy if we see the changes take place. Well, they have taken place. Do we see Australia coming back? No, but the okay changes or the good changes just to to help us see what Australia would do against the other two teams.
No, it's I guess there's nothing for them to lose, and they knew that they were gonna be facing the world champions. So what they had to do was just try to make it respectable, and I think the world champions should probably ease off the gas because there's nothing else this team can do. So the world champions really need to ease off the gas and let Australia just get some game time, guys. Sometimes you don't need to give guys. And this boy looks very Zambian. This boy could be playing somewhere in Zambia.
He just joined Newcastle recently, so in January, because the A League is done in Australia in January he'll be playing for Newcastle.
How good is
Mbappe
this
veteran.
youngster? How good is this young
He's
lad?
very he's very good. I've seen a few videos of him off YouTube. He's the kind of player that will probably be a Newcastle legend when Newcastle start winning trophies. He's the right move for
Newcastle,
Newcastle.
Newcastle is getting the Premier League. What do you mean they start winning trophies? They're winning the Premier League this season.
No,
You guys aren't seeing Newcastle, but they are slowly creeping into the top spot. They are high above Manchester United, and they are not losing any steam. Newcastle might win this trophy if you guys are not careful. This title race is gonna be Newcastle versus Man City versus Arsenal.
that's a hard ask because I feel Newcastle's team might be fatigued after the World Cup because I do not think they've got enough team depth. When I look at the likes of Trippier, he'll probably play all the World Cup games. I look at a lot of their players might play their World Cup matches, and it puts them in a bad place. Bruno
But guys, let's not
Gamares,
forget that
you
the World Cup has got. Oh, I know the World Cup has got intensity, but the World Cup has I think more rest days. So you play 7 games in 30 days. That's probably less games than you'd play in the league, no?
well, you play 7 games in a month. Let's say
Well, and in
in
the
an
normal
ideal
league, you play for about 4 Premier League games in a month,
and two
for
Champions League games.
2 Champions League games, and
So
maybe some
that's
FA
six.
Cup.
Yeah, usually if you're going to have the FA Cup in that particular month, you won't have the league because the FA Cup will fall on a weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I feel, and then for the World Cup, it's high intensity because we've got extra time, we've got
Oh,
penalties.
Kingsley Coman is coming in.
Exactly.
All right, they've swapped out Dembele for Kingsley Coman, which is pretty cool. But yeah, so yeah, you're right. I guess Newcastle, but most of what teams do most of the Newcastle representation play for? To be honest.
I follow the Newcastle page on Facebook, and every single day a team dropped somewhere. Newcastle would always post like wishing the player good at the World Cup, and there were like so many guys because that's how I ended up knowing this kid from Australia because they posted him before, they're like, yeah, he's coming to Newcastle in January, but hey, what the heck, let's post the guy. He's our player
Anyway, they are
already.
gonna win the league. When this kid comes, if he's a true baller as you claim he is probably gonna win them the league. You know me, I'm believing Newcastle. And as you guys know, I am well, as much as I'm a United fan, Newcastle is one of my teams at heart. So guys, I'll be celebrating the trophy come next year March.
Hopefully, because what do you have to say about the Australian team? What did they do wrong today?
I just think it was the class. It was an outclassing. France is just better. Tactically, they've been better. Technically better. They have players who could know so much exposure. I think this Australian team they just had too much. They beat too much than they could afford to chew. So I'm very sorry about this Australian team. I think it will get better for them. Maybe they can fancy their chances with some of the other smaller teams in this sport, but I don't see them going very far in this World Cup. I don't see them causing an upset in this World Cup. That's how these Australian teams. I think that certain teams just go here for participation, and Australia must be one of those teams. All right, Mr. Momba has dropped out of the call, guys. So yeah, if you are new to Afrik football, remember to like and subscribe, guys. We're trying to get to 11,000 subscribers by the end of this World Cup period. So if you are or you do enjoy this content, just give us a like, give us a comment, guys. We're here for you, and the things we do is we create content for the people, by the people, and this is what football in the 21st century is about. You'll be able to have a conversation with the commentators, and it's easier if you keep dropping us some comments for us to be having those conversations. Um, the game is currently 4-1, as you can see on the screen. I'll probably give you a rundown of everyone who scored. As you can see right now from the scores, Giroud got two. Mbappe finally got himself on the score sheet with Rabiot as well, getting a goal in the first half. Godwin is the only player who got a goal for Australia, and that is how it's been for Australia. Mr. Wamba is currently back, and we had a conversation with Mr. Wamba about how I feel about this Australian team. I don't think they're gonna do much. This Australian team seems to have reached their ceiling, and I think this game is probably gonna end like this unless something does change. But what are your thoughts, Mr. Wamba?
When I look at this Australian team, yeah, I don't see them doing much at this tournament. Um, I know France is like 10, 15 times better quality than they are, but if they kept the game at 2-1 and finished at 2-1, I'll be like, okay, they have a shot. But now it's 4-1. The they seem a bit clueless. They don't seem to know what to do next. Like they're literally living at the mercy of France. So I'm not impressed.
Mm-hmm. I'm not impressed as well by this Australian team. But hey, we can't expect everyone to be bowlers in these games, Mr. Mwamba. So I'm assuming we'll be looking at our comment of the predictions in this game. I guess you have won this prediction battle. It's closest to 4-0 than any of the other ones. So big ups to you for assuming France is gonna get 4 goals. I couldn't have even guessed it, but sometimes I do try to be controversial to balance out the page, guys. You're supposed to be a bit controversial. But Minister,
True.
I guess Mr. Sison Kube, who said 3-0, is like 4-1 is sort of like a 3-0 in some world. But yeah.
That's very, very, very
All right,
true.
80 minutes
And
played, guys. Well, we're basically at 1 minute played, guys. We're basically getting to the final ends of this game. It's been a very interesting game. There've been lots of goals. We've had some interesting discussions here with Mr. Mwamba. So, if anyone is joining us for the
Coman to
first time, you can
Mbappe. Mbappe
Mbappe
dribbles
with
past
another.
man.
Did
Oh,
you see
you
Giroud
could
there? Was
literally
that
see
Giroud?
Giroud. He was
Yes,
trying to go for the
yeah, he was
bicycle kick,
aiming
the
to actually go
acrobatic.
for one of those acrobatic goals. Yeah, Kingsley Coman is in finally. Yeah, I was giving a rundown of I wanted to look at all the substitutions that had happened. So let me just go to the match information there. So guys, these are the confirmed substitutions. Kingsley Coman came in for Usman Dembele. Fofana came in for Mwamba's player. Uh, so Godwin, the goal scorer, is out for the other young lad who came in. As well as Mabi is in for McGree, and you have Duke Mitchell who went out for Cummings. In the first half, we had Lucas Hernandez who got injured and was replaced by Theo
Mbappe.
Hernandez. Oh, Mbappe just almost had another chance. What is wrong with Mbappe? He almost had another chance there.
You see, I feel Mbappe's failure to commit is what's killing Mbappe in these games because if he committed a bit more there, he would have probably had better control.
That is true. He would have probably had some better control, but Mbappe sometimes gets overwhelmed with being a speedster. Like, look at that. Look at that. There,
Yeah, he
he
just didn't
okay.
commit enough
No, yeah,
there. Like,
he didn't. No, I just feel like he didn't. touch, the first touch was a bit off, and there hasn't been so many stoppages in this game. So I like to see if they're gonna give a ridiculous runtime.
There actually have been a lot of stoppages, because every time the ball goes out, even for a throw in, all those seconds are added. So I'm looking at a bare minimum of 6 or 7 here.
Yeah, this new rule is gonna be tough on the rest of us as the people.
But don't you feel it's a bit fair? Because we've had situations where a
No,
team even was 14 to 20 minutes.
I feel the unfairness of football is what makes football exciting.
Do you
You
feel
know,
FIFA are trying
sometimes
too much to make
that
football
that
fair?
you yeah, that time when your team loses to that unfair offside call, sometimes you know your team benefits from it, and you're like, yes, yes, come on, team. Then sometimes the team just loses to it, and you're like, that ref was fake, the VR was fake. But that's what we live for. We live for such moments where things are fake and we're still just enjoying that stuff. What do you think, though?
I feel that works out a lot because this is one of the female referees at the World Cup. There are three female referees, but today she's the
Mm-hmm.
fourth official. Yeah, I feel FIFA is not trying too much to modernize the game, and
Mm-hmm.
if we don't have those controversial calls, it
Mm-hmm.
takes away the fun from soccer. Because I know people that don't watch soccer, but then people be arguing. They'll be like, "No, that was a penalty. No, that wasn't a penalty." Then they'll be like, Bacchus has come in. Yeah. Then they'll be
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I
can
can see
we see?
Bacchus has come in. South African
Yeah.
guy. So I'm assuming Gomez will try and convince him to play for South Africa after this after this game. He'll be like, my brother, you should come back to that South Africa. Speak to him, you Prakni Africans.
Okay. The young lad from Newcastle. He seems to be
Hmm.
making the right runs.
Why do you think okay, I don't what has made Newcastle relatively a better team right now?
I feel they made the right signings, firstly. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Before they become the Man City of the Premier League, where the man is buying them the best players, they needed a set of transitional players, and these transitional players were never going to be the Mbappes or the Haalands of this world, but it was
Mm-hmm.
going to be very good players who don't have like the next club to go to. So they went in and brought in Trippier, of which Trippier has been vital. He's been scoring the free kicks. They went and brought in Bruno Gamares from Brazil. The young
Mm-hmm.
lad has been one of the best midfielders in the Premier League. No midfielder has got more assists
Mm-hmm.
than him, apart from KDB, ever since he arrived in the league. They went all out and bought Botman from Lille, and Botman was he won the League One Player of the Season at Lille just the season before
Mm-hmm.
coming. That season where Lille won the trophy, the League One
Mm-hmm.
trophy, yeah, over PSG. So they've been signing the best players around town, and they went on to buy Isak from um, Real Sociedad. Other people might know Isak from Borussia Dortmund, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
from his days at Dortmund. So they're buying the right players who will help the team in the transition of becoming a big team. So all those names I've mentioned, and then they already had the likes of Longstaff, who was not too bad, who was a very good player. They had the likes of Saint Maxima. Those guys have just now improved based on them playing with players who are good, hence making Newcastle become a good team. My thoughts.
Yeah. Yo, guys, it has been a very long day. I can hear Mr. Mumba speaking in my mind. I'm like, this man has been watching football the whole day. But no, I understand. Transitional players are kind of important. Do you think Manchester United is also having transitional players right now?
Um, for United, I feel these most of these guys are not transitional, but the guys who are like at the at the end, like it's the final line, the cutting line by Ten Hag. Can you get me?
Mm-hmm. No, I can get you. I can get
Yeah,
you. It is a cutting line by Ten Hag. Like, I'm glad that Ronaldo is gone. It frees up our wage bill so that we even have a transfer. We can have so much more money to spend on our transfer window in this coming transfer window.
exactly.
So which players do you think would be needed to be added by Manchester United? Oh, Pavard
Cody
looks older,
Gakpo.
you know.
Yeah, he has grown old. It's been 4 years. And Cody
Yeah, he
Gakpo.
looks different. Oh, Gakpo
Gakpo
from
scored Netherlands
Netherlands.
and
No, I
PSV.
saw Gakpo yesterday. Isn't he like a top scorer in Netherlands? He scored yesterday as well.
Yeah, he's a top scorer there. He's 19 and he's got a bright future ahead of him. Um, Another player I
I
would
hope
want us to
Manchester
sign.
do what Manchester does, where you just go take the player, chew him up, spit him out.
Nah, no, no, no. Another player I would want to see us sign is probably we need um a replacement right back who would help Dallo, not necessarily a player who start over Dallo, but an understudy to Dallo, the likes of
Now, do you know
Max
one thing?
Aaron's from. Uh-huh.
Luke Shaw, every time Luke Shaw gets any competition, Luke Shaw becomes prime Luke Shaw, and he just takes the position back from wherever it is. Look, we've got Malasia, and
Exactly.
then Malasia is not even playing anymore. Luke Shaw's like mine.
Oh,
Oh, is that a goal? Is that a goal, ref? Mr. VR? Oh, I like that we have goal line technology. Remember when goal line technology came and people complained, blah, blah, blah. Now it's like, and now it's on. It's like, now we're going to be complaining about VR because of its inconsistencies.
I was actually telling one of my friends the other day, I was like, I feel we're the luckiest generation because we experience football without all these random rules, the goal line technology, VAR, and everything. Like, there was that moment
Mhm.
when football was more traditional, the set platters were like, we don't want to modernize football, we don't want football to be a technology sport. And now we're watching football with all the tech, and we actually got to see the Messi Ronaldo era like in its prime. Like, I feel
Mhm.
in past generations you'd have that one good player, but in our time we had two good players who won 12 Ballon d'Ors between them. So
Mhm.
I don't think we ever, I don't think people will ever see such
There
a
you go,
generation.
7 minutes added on.
Yep, Euros.
These new rules are the worst.
Are you saying that because you're tired?
Yes, because I'm tired. I'm like, guys, I've watched so much football today. I was like, we'll go again tomorrow. All right, guys. So we'll be going again tomorrow in our live stream and watch along. Thank you for everyone who came through to this stream. Yeah, we still have 7 minutes to go. And as Mr. Wambas noted, I'm exhausted. Yes, I'm tired. But we are still here. We're still doing content. We're still delivering you guys good content. Mr. Wamba, what can the people expect coming from us?
Coming from us, more content. We're going to drop World Cup content like every single day. You have something. So just come to Afrik Football, subscribe, like our content, share, do everything possible. Just put Afrik Football out there, and yeah, Afrik Football will give you the best content in town.
Yeah, I don't understand why people don't want to watch our content. I feel like we're very good at this content thing, and you guys deserve to give us like just a like, just a subscribe. But yeah, anyway, nine. Why in the additional minutes, 7 have been added on. It seems France still just wants to demolish. I don't know why. Are they afraid of a goal difference something?
I feel it's just they probably want to make a statement of we are not going out in the early stages, kind of thingy where you just announce yourself to Tunisia and Denmark to just tell them, hey
Mm,
guys, be afraid of us. We're France. Do you
mm.
know who France is playing next in this group?
Let me just check the schedules. Let me just check the schedules. Let me just check the schedules. I'll be checking the schedules. When did I receive that? Just give me a second.
Okay,
I found the schedule.
no problem. Just looking at Coman trying to dribble past the whole world.
Uh-huh. France is taking on Denmark on Sunday. On
Saturday,
Saturday, I mean.
Sunday. Okay. Oh, so if Tunisia beat Australia, they would have
Mm.
4 points. And if France beats Denmark, then
Mhm.
Ooh, it might just go down to the wire.
Mhm.
Tunisia might actually qualify because France will be going to the third game knowing they're out qualified and they'll probably
Mhm.
use youngsters.
I'm out here looking at AKA saying that he's done with betting.
Why? Argentina, I
Sir, if you
guess.
saw these tickets was Argentina plus all those two other teams that drew, it was very bad.
I
Oh, and then
understand. I
George
understand.
had dinner with his son Timothy Weah today.
Pardon?
George Weah had dinner with his son Timothy Weah after that goal he scored yesterday for the USA team, men's team.
Has he flown to Qatar?
Yes, yes, of course. George Weah must be in Qatar. As a is George Weah still the Libyan president? I feel like he's been Libyan
Yeah.
president for a long time. How many terms do they have
Liberia,
in Libya?
Liberia,
Yes,
Liberia.
Liberia.
Hope that's not a red card. All referees wearing this jersey at the World Cup.
What?
Are all referees wearing this red jersey?
I feel like the referees' jerseys are just becoming worse. Somebody needs to come in and like give them better dress
Yeah,
code, some swag. Like football jerseys are evolving, but referee jerseys keep evolving.
exactly. Because referee jerseys, like referees look as though they're still in 2005 and players are like in
Yeah,
2022.
exactly. Hmm. Australia has lost very badly. Yeah, this was very disappointing.
So you see, even there, when this guy was dropped, when Aaron Moy dropped the guy, we got like 20, 30 seconds. So this game won't end in 97. It will
Mhm.
end 97, 20 something.
I I'm tired, guys. Come on, game. End this game.
Cross, come on.
All
Like,
I'm
at
thinking,
this stage,
all I'm,
you just want the
all I'm
players to
thinking
keep
is
the ball on the pitch.
all I'm saying is they shouldn't score another goal because celebrations will take another 1 minute. But yeah, so guys, yeah, we've labored to watch this game. We've watched it through the end. Tomorrow, what is tomorrow's fixtures like? Let us look at tomorrow's fixtures so we decide which
Check
game
which game.
will be streaming.
Watch.
All right, all right, all right, all right. Oh, Germany versus Japan is at 15. Spain versus Costa Rica is at 18. Morocco versus Croatia is at 12, and Belgium versus Canada at 21.
Canada, Canada.
Canada, Canada,
Huh?
USA, USA. Now, guys, USA actually played well yesterday. I was very proud of the guys. I saw Tactical Manager TV do some great stuff there. That was cool.
Yeah. So I guess we're doing the Canada Belgium.
No stress, no stress. I'll be around. Tomorrow I'll be able to get some enough rest. I'll make sure before the stream I get some sleep because you're right. These games keep coming quick and fast. It means before you can take some rest and for the next game, you're already working on the graphics for the next game. You're already working on these things. So tomorrow the Canadian game, the Belgium Canada game is what I'm going to be looking at. But I'm assuming that game is probably gonna be similar in stature because Belgium is probably gonna wall up Canada. What do you think?
Um, it's Alfonso Davis. We may never know, and Belgium don't look too good. So you may
Who is
never know.
Belgium
For
looking too
this,
good?
nah, they don't. That defense is trash. They've got a 37-year-old Vertonghen that depending on.
Mhm. All right, that boy's too in. Loris hasn't had much to do this game, guys. The
Whew.
game
Victor
is over.
Gomez is a legend.
He's an African legend. The game is over, guys. The game has ended 4-1 in favor of Australia, as you guys can see on the screen, with Rabiot, Mbappe, and Giroud getting a brace, with Goldwyn getting the only solo goal, the opener of this game. Mr. Mwamba, any closing remarks?
Make sure you subscribe to Afrik Football, like, share, and comment. And see you in the next one.
Definitely catch you guys on the next one. The flip side, we'll do the art as early as possible. Then you guys will be able to see the art tomorrow in the morning. We'll be having our thing tomorrow. See you guys. Peace. This was a good game.